Inception. Let's talk about that.
Woohoo.
Is that what it was called?
No, that's not what it's called.
Oh.
But I remember telling Blake since the beginning, like, my comparison of this show is 100% Inception.
I see it.
On a week-to-week basis.
Compare it to Legion.
You compare it to what?
Legion is way more confusing.
I was gonna say, I'm not. It has nothing to do with reading the comics or anything. It's just Moon Knight's not confusing. For me, I'm only speaking for me. Legion legit was, I know the comics and I still have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. Like, who are you? What is this? Like, what's happening here? Then later on they brought in Charles and it's like, all right, you somehow got more confusing. Like, you went backwards. You didn't go
Might
forward.
as well go all in if you can.
I'm gonna try to hold back.
Try to hold back from Legion? That's over.
No.
It's been over.
This episode?
From attacking this episode. Yeah.
I mean, did you not learn? Time out. Did you not learn from last week when you hated it, rewatched it, and it was
starting.
Like, okay.
No, I watched.
Did you rewatch it?
I watched it at 7 a.m. and that was enough.
Maybe it was too early.
All right.
No, it wasn't.
You sure you put on the right thing?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You put the mummy on by accident?
You might have put the mummy on. Did you put Tom Cruise's mummy on? That's what happened. That's what happened. All right, welcome everybody. Yeah, welcome everybody to an all new episode of Marvel Cinematic Review, the show where we break down Marvel's Disney Plus shows weekly. Today we'll be breaking down episode 4 of Moon Knight. As you can see, we already have differing opinions on the show, but to be fair, Trevon was watching a movie about a mummy with no mummy in it, so I understand his being upset.
That's not what's happening here.
I understand it, Trevon. I get it. I was upset too. I'm like, it's called The Mummy, and I'm just watching Tom Cruise run around.
I'm glad y'all love it.
I get you. Wait, you love The Mummy?
I'm glad y'all love this.
Oh,
I need to hurry up and get to next week.
I'm glad I love it. It's in a blast.
I was about to block you, man. That was about to be wild. I thought you said you loved The Mummy. Anyway, let me introduce our panel, starting off with Jayla. What's going on, Jayla?
Not much. It's been a crazy week. Man, there's so many things to get into about this episode. I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. And your week was thrown off by Thor, right?
Yeah.
Thor
oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. I think I liked the trailer more than you. Honestly, I think it was great.
You definitely did.
You definitely did.
Hear me out. I think it's a good teaser. It's what a teaser trailer should be. I didn't want too much from it. I just wanted a little taste, and they gave me all that I needed from it. I'm gonna see it either way, so it's not gonna need a trailer to sell me on it, but a teaser to get an idea of what we're getting into is perfect. And I think it's really refreshing to see a teaser that doesn't show up its cards right off the bat. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm with you, and it wasn't that I needed to see more. It was just not showing gore, right? Was my only issue.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to show gore, honestly.
I 100% was very curious how you don't show your villain. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Exactly.
But what was I going to say? Oh, next up, Blake. And Blake, I read the synopsis for Thor: Love and Thunder. And I swear to God, what we were talking about Jane, I swear to God, I think that's the case.
Yeah.
It says like Thor has to go seek the help of God damn, I keep forgetting Taika's character. Fuck.
Korg.
He enlists the help of Korg and of Valkyrie, and unexpectedly finds out that Jane is Thor. Right. So it very much is just like when he lands there, he's just like, oh shit. Okay, yeah, come with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come along. But no, this I couldn't wait for you to get to this episode, Blake. You've been hitting me over the head of getting like some reassurances. So I'm glad
I have been messaging Juwaan every other day, weekly, since the first episode. Like, please tell me Jake isn't the one that killed Layla's dad. Please tell me Bushman is involved to some capacity. I don't need to see him.
He kept mentioning it. He's like, I just gotta make sure Bushman's part of it. And like, yeah, when it happened last night, I watched his face. I was like, I was like, come on. I was like, and then I saw his face, and he was like, he literally let out the biggest sigh of relief. That I was like, oh my god. I was like, this poor man.
I was so nervous the second she's like, who killed my dad? And I was like put on the hearing aid, like, let's hear it. And
yeah, like, said, hello. Yeah.
He's like, it was my partner, and I was like, yes, it was. It exactly was. Good. I can breathe now, so I can relax these last 2 episodes. But I was nervous.
Absolutely. So I was waiting for you to get to that, because I was like, I'm not gonna tell you, man. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna ease you at all.
I respected it.
I want you to jump.
No, to be fair, I kept telling Blake too. I was like, Juwaan would have kind of like warned you, but I was like, you gotta trust him. You gotta trust the show. I was like, it's been so far so good. Like, don't. And like, because he kept reading all your theories, and I was like, don't do that to yourself. I was like, just relax, just breathe.
Anybody could cook up. I was reading for 4 weeks, so.
Yeah, you were telling me like everything, and I was like, no. I was like, you're not gonna do this. No, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna have a repeat. No.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people's theories is hearing other people's theories and then just like copy and pasting. So it sometimes comes out like, do you know what you're talking about? Nah, not really. And it's like, I can tell. But,
I can tell.
I can.
Well, like that's like anything though. Like if someone like hasn't like watched, like that happened like before it even came out. Like a lot of people were like just forming like their opinions by like reviews. It's like you didn't even watch it yourself. You don't know.
Right, 100%.
And like they're just rolling with it, and I was just like, no, like you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, their Doctor Strange theories are insane out there, so just avoid it.
Oh my god, we don't talk about that.
But next up, Didge, what's going on, Didge?
Not much, like Jayla said, crazy week. We already talked the Thor trailer. I was excited about that, and hoping our Bucks get another win tonight. That's what I'm big on.
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Look, as a Knicks fan, I have no love for Chicago. So, my middle finger's been up. So, But, next up is, outside of Didge, the only other person I know that appreciated I Know What You Did Last Summer, the series. Dom, what's up, Dom?
Yeah, what's a good series, man? Like,
see?
Yeah.
I was trying to tell him, Dom.
No, I'm good. Hope last week I got cut out because we had a storm that turned into a tornado warning, and my internet was just out. So tonight seems good. I normally don't have a background, but we just moved, so there's nothing behind me but like blank walls. So I was like, I had to fill it up with something.
I love it. I do miss your pops, though. I do miss those pops. That is a Dom
downstairs
staple.
Now.
Damn, that is a Dom staple right there. Is his pops. Your pops, and then your Captain America Falcon in the back. Yeah, I definitely missed that. Next up, my brethren, Joel. What's up, Joel?
What up, people?
What's going on, man? You excited to talk about this episode?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to get into it. I was a little worried there for a second, but it throws you off for a loop towards the end. So
it does.
I'm excited to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yes, it does. And next up, Sabrina, I think you're the only person that truly laughed so hard it hurt your stomach at when Mark punched himself in the face for kissing Layla. And I said to myself, I would 100% do that. If in real time I couldn't kiss Layla, but my other self could, I 100% would beat his ass. I'd be so jealous. Like, how dare you? Even though
I literally was like, Blake. I was like, is he valid? And he's like, mm-hmm. I was like, okay. I was like, good. But yeah, no, it was so funny because I was like, I knew like just the look that he gave her. I was like, yeah. I was like, this is gonna, yep, and like that's gonna piss off Mark so bad, and it did. And I was just like, well, like even before he punched him, like before like they kissed, he was like, I'll throw us off a cliff. Like I don't care.
Right. Yeah.
And, like I was just like, oh my god. Like Mark just like,
I love
isn't
Layla's
having
reaction to it. I love Layla's reaction. Like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go down now. And it's like, oh, I guess you didn't like that. Like, she's like,
yeah, like it was, yeah, because she leaned in first, and then he told her about all like everything because he wanted to be honest, and then like he kissed her, and she was like, yeah, thanks. Right, so it was like very like, yeah,
100%, 1,000%. That is probably the worst feeling a guy could ever have, right? Where you're just like, oh, you didn't like any of that. Well,
yeah. Like, well, like there's just there's just a lot with her. Like
get out of here.
They just Mark keeps making decisions that like it's just like multiple times she's always like you didn't run that by me. Like, you didn't like think about how I feel. And it's like, you think you're trying to protect her, but like, you gotta talk to her,
Right. Yeah.
Because it just makes everything worse.
Layla's about that life. She keeps having to tell Mark, look, I will kill. And Mark's
like, she's like, bitch, I don't need your protection. Like, I need you, but like, I don't need your protection. And he's just like, no, I can protect you. I can fix you. Like, no. That's not, no.
Like, yeah, Layla's like, oh, I'm sorry. You must have got me fucked up. You know how many people I killed to get in
here? Yeah, like, she's proven multiple times she can handle her own.
Right, yeah.
She can handle 100%. Her own.
All right, last but definitely not least, the person that, again, I want to give you the opportunity, Trevon. I believe you watched The Mummy. I want to give you another opportunity to confirm that you watched The Mummy, okay? Maybe even The Scorpion King. Did you watch Scorpion King? No? Okay, it was Moon Knight. All right, I was giving you
Are you sure?
I was just giving you a way out. No, but all jokes aside, Trevon, I want to start with you, actually. I want to get your thoughts out there, man. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's muted. You got the floor. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I kind of hated it. So let's see. Let's get into it. I think what makes me not like this episode, I think I'm just sick of Steven. I'm just tired of him, like, just causing nothing to happen. He's just like, oh no, I'm staying in this body, I'm staying in control. I'm just like, let go, man. Like, we don't need you. Like, just go. Like, you're scared of everything. Like, let's have some action. Like, I'm tired of this. I felt like, Layla was awesome. She could fight and everything. That was cool. But I'm like, this show called Moon Knight. I kind of want to see him. I kind of want to see some action, some fighting, some something, not some running all the time and scared all the time. I'm sick of that. Tired of him. It's just I'm annoyed with that at this point. That's just how I feel about the show. Sorry. The ending pissed me off. It just made me think of Legion. That's just how I felt. I was like, I said, okay, it's all in his head. Maybe it is all in his head. Maybe it's not. I don't really care about this part right here. It pissed me off. So I was like, I just don't. This show is not working for me so far. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm annoyed. I don't know. I'm just gonna I know you guys are ready to say you love it and everything, so I'm just gonna listen to that. Like, I already vented earlier in the DMs to Jamie. so I'm good now. Like, so I'm good. I didn't want to do it on time. Like, I was like, I was like, it's fine. I don't want to get tagged. Like, everybody's loving it. So I was like, let me not do that. So yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, it's the only episode out of. We only had 4. We only had 4, and it's the only episode without Moon Knight. Literally the only episode without Moon Knight.
Steven's been cop blocking the whole time, though. It's annoying.
No, look, if that's
one of his better episodes.
If that bothers you, if that bothers you, I have no arguments here. I mean, it's drastically different than the comics, so it did take getting used to for me. So I do understand your point in that and the longevity of, like, all right, just kind of like get to it. But I am curious, what did you mean by, like, you didn't like the ending? Like, you didn't like it because it confused you, or it was just bad?
I don't like stuff like that. I hate that.
I like
that trope of it's all in his head. I hate that shit. Like, so I
remember, time out. Remember, the whole concept is we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know that it was all in his head.
I hate that.
But that's the character, though, Trevon. It's not a trope. That's legit the character.
Yeah. I will say
I've seen it in other stuff.
It was the weakest part of the episode to me. I do think that ending. I was enjoying it so much, and like, even when he got shot, and then for it to just switch to that, I was like, you could have ended the episode then with him getting shot. I'd have rather that been the cliffhanger, and you start the next episode with that.
But to me, that was, and as I pass it to you, Blake, that was from the moment he got shot, almost word for word from the comics. That entire ending, outside of obviously the hippopotamus that shows up. Outside of that, it's almost shot for shot, and it gives us, to me, my favorite scene out of all 4 of these episodes which is he walks by, sees the sarcophagus just shaking, trying to get out. And it's like, oh shit, what is that? And it's like, well, we know exactly who that is. And he's just dying to get out and join the party. So for me, it was like, it was necessary, because if we're made to believe this next episode is an origin, so you couldn't put it off. So I'm like, it seems like the next episode is the origin. That'll probably end with the resurrection. And then the 6th episode is all about stopping Arthur, is all about stopping Arthur. So I'm like, it wasn't like you could put that off. But again, I'm not here to argue if you didn't, like, if it didn't kind of like stand out to you, only because it's like, that's your opinion. I fully respect it. But to me, this story is trying its best to be story driven. And then the rest of the time we see Moon Knight going forward, this won't be what we have to go back and forth to. It'll be very clear on exactly who the character is going forward. So to me, it's like, get the story out. Get this. This is the equivalent of a first movie. First movies always give you a story, and then the second movie is all your action. So I'm like, this is perfect. And again, it's the only episode without Moon Knight. So when you said that, I'm like, it's only been one. How? The first one ends with Moon Knight. The second one has two Moon Knight.
You've seen how I felt about the show since the start. So it's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're right. Blocking the whole time has just been annoying to me. So I don't know.
I really do think that this is one of his better episodes. As
you are talking now, Trevon, you're talking two different things now. Because remember, because you were saying that you didn't like that there was no Moon Knight. And my point was, this is the only time we haven't seen Moon Knight. And then you were like, you didn't like Stephen Grant. I'm like, well, that's a whole nother conversation. I don't necessarily disagree on their weird take on Stephen Grant. But it's one of those things where it's like, again, people already compare it to Batman. So you don't need one of his alter egos to be a rich billionaire.
No, I don't.
Who dresses up as a vigilante at night. Like that, you're just doubling down on that. So there's just no need. So I mean,
you know how I feel about Batman too. So we're not getting to that. Yeah, so
we're gonna move on from you. We're moving on from you. We're moving on from you. You didn't even need to say those words. Blake, please. Blake, please go ahead.
I love the episode, as I love all the episodes. Moon Knight not showing up was okay to me, even though that's the number one thing I want to see from a show called Moon Knight is Moon Knight. But as you said, we have seen him in every episode. And I think the reason we took this step back from him is because the next two episodes are going to be Moon Knight, Moon Knight, Moon Knight. Next episode being like, hey, you want Moon Knight? Well, here's how he became Moon Knight. And the finale will be like, here's Moon Knight going after the main villain. We're going to end this for good. And that whole last 10 to 15 minute chunk I know is divided, because there are those that read the comics like, oh, I recognize this, like this is leading to good stuff. And then there are the majority of the audience that didn't read the comics just going like, what the hell was that? Like, I hate that ending. It was a mix of like, it was all a dream or it was all in his head kind of thing. That would obviously upset everyone that is none the wiser as to how this is. And I feel like by the time the show wraps up, the general audience will be on the same page as the comic readers. Like, okay, this does happen. It's just to what extent does this all happen? Because that's how every comic is. It's like, oh wow, Moon Knight goes through all these crazy adventures, which he really is fighting these villains, teaming up with the Avengers and all that. But to what extent is he fighting these monsters? Like, what does he really have the power to do and all that? So I'm excited for everyone to finally get on the same page. But those last 10 minutes, so it's just like, even from the red eyes that he had, just like looking around the place, like, how did I get here? Is this actually happening? Is a villain messing with me? Like, am I actually in this hospital? So, yeah.
But no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just hate that Marvel showed this. Like, in the very first trailer, there was a shot of him in the hospital hitting his head, and all the TV spots leading up showed him running through the hospital. Like, if they never teased it and they never showed a single shot from that, I think it would have hit us all the same, as opposed to like, there he is, he's finally at the mental hospital. So that's the only thing I think was upsetting on their part of how they handled that.
Look, Joel, we had this conversation a lot when Spider-Man came out. People not understanding the necessity of Aunt May needing to be the one that goes, and how that was important for Peter's story going forward, right? So you kind of look at this the same, to where it's just like, I don't get it. Like, why do we need this? And to me, like I said, to know this is why we always say it's important to know these characters. So when these story marks come up, you're like, okay, and even if you still don't like it, not a problem, but at least you understand why they did it. And then you could say, you know what? I still don't like that they did it. No problem. But to properly understand why they did it always matters, because to know the character. And again, what I loved about this whole sequence was it was pulling an inception of, well, what do you believe? Because here's the thing. The likelihood of the guy who is Moon Knight, there being an actual action figure of him, is slim to fucking none. So right there you go, well, the likelihood of this being real is slim to none, right? So then you go, well, wait a minute. Could this be real? Like, you kind of see certain things play out, and it's like, well, he could have gotten Stephen Grant from this movie. He could have done that, you know? So it kind of blends in and out of, like, it's a mind fuck, right? That's what it's supposed to be. That's who Moon Knight is. It's always of, is Spider-Man really there with Moon Knight, or is Moon Knight just talking to himself, right? So that's why I said to know the character is just to appreciate it. But I'll never argue on whether or not you like the, I guess the execution of it, right? Because the execution hits for different people differently. I know I had to argue with people, and I see Sabrina did the same thing. I had to argue with people who thought that was fucking Venom Batman injected into his body, right? So it's like, there's just certain people that if you don't know, they go to the most extreme, right? They're like, well, I don't know it, so it has to be this. And it's like, no, but there's a middle ground here you're missing.
Yeah. I looked at this episode. The only thing I have to say to that is, like, listen, I'm all about, you know, little Easter eggs and stuff like that, but if it's not something like that, like, you don't need to go that far.
Right. That's what
like, some people, like, I hate to, like, be that party pooper, but, like, sometimes when I read people's theories, I'm like, you're reaching too hard. And, like, I remember seeing the most absurd theories for the Batman. I was like, no. I was like, you're reaching too hard. I was like, you gotta stop. Because, like, look, what is that? Honest with you.
I almost tried my best to block Moon Knight thoughts that weren't Blake's, right? Because it's like people's arms have to be out of their sockets with how far they're reaching for some of these theories. And it's like, bro, it's not that deep.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh my God. Well, like, yeah. Like, not to, like, yeah. But with the whole, adrenaline thing, like, I remember when they said in the art book, like, I posted it because I posted a clip of him doing that. And everyone was like, everybody in my mentors were like, it's Venom. I was like, no, it's adrenaline.
Right.
And, like, 100%. I posted, I was like, why do you, like, want it to be, why are you so keen on it not being Venom? I was like, because I really had fanboys in my freaking mentions telling me I'm wrong! Like, it's not a thing!
Made no sense. So, that's what I'm saying. So, like I always like to say, I don't like to disagree with people's opinions, because it's your opinion. I can't change how you see something, right?
Or, like, theories, because, like, it's fun when, like, people theorize stuff, and, you know, but like, the reaching.
Like I was telling my aunt, what I love to try to do, because sometimes I don't convey it the best, but what I love to try to do is give you all the facts. And if you have all the facts and still don't like it, my job is done. You know everything now. And if you still don't like it, no problem. I'm not here to argue, you know, if something spoke to you or not. I just want you to know where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? So that's where, like, as you were saying, Blake, everyone that was split on it, it's like you do hear a lot from the people that just didn't understand what they were looking at. Like, legit could not comprehend what the fuck was happening, right? And you had the people that, because I have not seen, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, I haven't seen anyone that knows where it comes from that did not like it, right? So it's like that's how divided it is, in my opinion. So, like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like the more you find out about Moon Knight, the more you'll either really love it or it'll only make you hate it more. Right? Because they won't go back on, is this real, is this not? That's just who the character is. So now it's just a matter of how you execute it going forward, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, Trevon. Like, how they execute it for you going forward will be important, because they won't stop doing it. I'm not going to say they'll do it like every time you see Moon Knight, he's trying to figure out, is there? No. But to take that away from the character is to take the character away. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it won't be the last time we see it where it's like, oh, damn. Did he just fight Blade? Or was that like, was he just in a cage with bats? Like, what was this? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's who the character is. But Dom, I want to pass it to you. Dope ass background. You know what I'm saying? Phil definitely well represented up in this mug. But what were your thoughts on this episode?
So I'm probably in the same realm as Trevon as far as the overall series. I was going to say it last week. I was calling it midnight because it was kind of mid for a while. I mean, having sat on some of the episodes for a couple weeks, I think there was something I wanted more that I know Disney Plus can't do. Maybe if it was on Hulu, it'd be darker, it'd be grittier, and that's kind of what I was expecting. But the way that they're setting it up with a long, drawn-out expose of him, I know he's going to be around for a while, so we got to have this kind of somewhat boringish, not even going to say boring, but boringish type of story. But this episode was my favorite just because it did kind of get to this kind of trippy, me, myself, and Irene stuck in the brain type of vibe. But I will say though, when they were trying to confirm who might have killed her dad, I think that the show possibly could introduce another character that you might not want to introduce that character. So I feel like it might have be Jake that did it possibly, or something of that sort, where because I know I looked up her dad's name and he was like the Scarlet Scarab, and she might become the Scarlet Scarab possibly. So I feel like they're either going to be like, his partner's one that did it, or they're going to leave that out and then go the route of like introducing her as some kind of future Egyptian hero because she is a good character.
Well, I mean, I think they eliminated it being any form of Mark because Mark was saying to Khonshu that he had this all under control before, right? Where there wasn't a fight for who gains, the most control over the body. He was saying how he had it under control and it was something he lost recently. I think Jake might be something new, right? So I think Steven's been around for a long time. Obviously, Mark is the primary. Yeah. I think Jake could be something that's more recent, not like recent like the last few weeks, but I mean recent in anytime Mark kind of blacked out, right? And he's just like, oh, maybe I just killed the guy. But to your point of it not being as dark as it should be, me and Blake were talking about this. It's gonna go there. So what they're trying to do is they're drastically changing the character. And for me, I understand why, right? So you have Mark, who's been Moon Knight for a long time, right? And I think he's just over the concept of killing, right? It's just something he understands at this point he has to do. It's nothing he wants to do anymore. And then Steven is the polar, like he's the I don't do the whole violence thing, right? So then it leaves Jake to emerge as, oh, no. Killing? Fuck yes. Can I do it now? Like, yeah, I want to kill everyone. So I think when we get to Arthur having to be stopped, it'll be Mark like, I can't keep doing this. Steven's like, I don't do this. And Jake's just like whistling. You guys remember that the old Mickey Mouse cartoon where he's just whistling and walking? Like that's gonna be Jake whistling his way on through. Like, I'll snap his neck.
I think because I looked up that Egyptian hippo. It's not in the comics, but it is a god of like rebirth. Mm-hmm. So maybe if he's in like since it's Egyptian gods, maybe he's in like that limbo. That's why it's kind of like what's real, what's not. And she shows up, and probably he has to make some kind of plea, whether it be she doesn't like Ahmet or revenge, and she allows it. But maybe if she does rebirth him, that's what awakens the Jake character. Because if you get rejuvenated, it's gonna redo a lot of things that have been done. So maybe maybe he was in charge at some point, and Mark gained control and was like, "Hey, we need to have some kind of balance," or it could just awaken Jake, and he just.
I mean, it's the second straight episode they alluded to Jake. Last week, Jake was we both blacked out. Who the fuck killed them then? And it's like, well, there's only two of us that we know of. And then obviously this episode where it's trying to get out. It's like, well, hey, where are you going? Like, right. like he just ran right by, and it's like, oh man, fuck you then. Like, I know you saw me here. So Jake is trying his best to get out, but that's why I don't think Jake is new. Right. Because Mark wouldn't have said, who killed this guy if it wasn't me or you? So I think Jake is the part of him that he's trying to get rid of, that it just bottled up and manifested a whole new version of himself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's what happened to myself and Irene. He had that one come out because he was trying to hold it in so long.
Right. I mean, I will say. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the reason why I do like this series though is that we get some new guys. It's always Norse guys. It's always the same old shit in every medium. And now we get the mention of all these Egyptian gods, and of course we already have witches and celestials, and now we're gonna have Greek gods and the Love and Thunder. So it's kind of, I like that the Marvel is like going this very supernatural, opening up that whole world of anything's possible.
100%. And when you said that, Dom, Thor was sitting in a corner somewhere, just like, "Hey, what's wrong with Norse gods? Like, what do we do, Dom?" No, but I mean, look, like I said, it's when it picks up, it's gonna pick up, right? We only got 2 episodes left. When we get Moon Knight again, it'll be vicious. It will be vicious, because I kind of feel like Moon Knight's one of those characters that it's like, okay, I'll put it like this. If Fox didn't do Deadpool, I have no reason to believe Feige would have ever done Deadpool, right? You know what I'm saying? So I look at Moon Knight and I'm like, I doubt you bring Moon Knight out of the closet if you're not going to let him be Moon Knight, right? So I'm like, if he's doing it, you kind of got to be like, he's going to live up to it, right? Because all the other characters we've seen in the MCU, they've been right on the same beat, right? Outside of Star-Lord, that's the biggest, to me, the biggest change up. Because now that character is completely silly for the rest of that character's eternity, unlike he was in the actual comics. But everybody else has been almost spot on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I just have faith that if he brought out Moon Knight, we're going to get Moon Knight. We're going to get the Moon Knight.
And to which I was saying last week, it does seem like with Moon Knight, they're slowly testing out how much blood and knife insertion they can. And I think if they just kind of, if there's no complaints overall after the series is over, I think they're going to push it a little bit more until you get like a real like TV 14, TV 17 kind of vibe.
I'm just of the mindset. If Feige doesn't do that, I'm just of the mindset I don't need it. Like, to me, it's like you could show violence, right? Without it being just so, like, all right, blood is smeared. That's right. How you know the guy got the shit beat out of him. Like, no, there's just wait. Look, when we saw that first trailer for the Batman and he was beating the shit out of the guy on the ground and we just heard it, right? We didn't have to see it. We felt that shit. Like, goddamn.
I want to say this too. Go ahead, Trevon. Something that I thought about when I was watching the show. Captain Winter Soldier is more brutal than this show. I think there's something wrong there, but that's just how I feel.
Again, you got to finish the last 2 episodes to say that, Trevon, because there was only one brutal moment in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, really, and that was what's his name on the stairs with the shield.
So, yeah, John Walker.
Yeah, let's see what the full 6 episodes give, and if they don't...
No, yeah, you're right. That was, like, probably, like, the most, like, brutal thing.
Yeah, 100%. So let's see what the full 6 episodes are, then we can circle back if there's nothing that feels like it's that. But to me, I don't need Blade and Moon Knight to be just, like, insanely bloody and violent. Like, I don't need that if that's not what the plan is, because I've just seen an MCU that works without it. You know what I'm saying? We've just gotten it. So to me, it's like, if they're going to keep Deadpool rated R, that's where we can get all that shit. Where he's cutting heads off and there's blood everywhere and sticking swords through necks. Like, we can get all that shit there. But to me, I don't really need it. I've seen Wesley Snipes have a blood rave. Like, I've seen what an ultimate violent Blade looks like. So it's like, now what does the other side look like? I've seen that shit where you're just murdering motherfuckers. So I'm like, I've gotten that. Let's see what the other side looks like. But to the comments really quickly. What's up, Lil Wolfie, Sith Morrison, Mr. E. Sith Morrison says the last 10 minutes are actually what saved this episode for me because I agree with Trevon. Steven is kind of annoying. I did like the horror elements a lot, though. I don't think anyone would agree with. I'm sorry. I don't think anyone would disagree that Steven is very annoying. No. I misspoke. That Steven is annoying. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. I just think it just doesn't bother people as much. Is the only difference. But I think everyone can agree he's annoying as shit. If there was a way to kill Steven instead of Mark.
No, I'm like, I love him.
I love him. Adorable? Oh, okay.
I'm
sorry. Okay.
I adore him. I adore Steven. He's the like purest soul like ever. I adore him. Like his little oh my god, he was so no, I enjoy every moment he's on screen. Like I don't think he's better than Mark or anything, but like I love how different they are, and like I know that's the point, but like I love that because like now like even from how you said it before, like Steven being a billionaire and them changing him completely like to this like innocent pure guy who works at a gift shop. Like I like that because like it's so drastically different than from Mark, and it's like because we started off with Steven, so it's like I don't know. I think it just was like okay, like I love him, and then like I said, like you could see the drastic difference between the two of them. It's like
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Sabrina. I always work like scenarios in my head. I'm just picturing when we get the Midnight Suns, right? And like they only know of Moon Knight, right? And then fucking Steven walks in and he's just having like this really fun loving conversation. And they're just like, no. Where's Moon Knight? And he's just like, oh, you just want Moon Knight? I thought you wanted the whole.
No, stop! I'm not accepting any slander of him. He's precious. No, we need more of that in this world. And he's so pure and innocent. I love him. Stop it. Stop. I'll protect him. I don't care. I love him.
I mean,
you
are protecting him.
Oh my god. Like, just like, even when he like kissed Layla, like he like looked at her, like the way he like stared at her was like, are you kidding me? He's so. I know he's not supposed to be because I know some people saw like how like people like thinking that like Steven's like the soft like boy and stuff like that, but like he's so precious. He's so precious. I mean, sorry.
Look, speaking of the dynamic, I even loved how different their screams were at the end of the episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Were drastically different. It was just like, oh, this is awesome. But look, Oscar Isaac right now, I'm telling you, Oscar Isaac's making it real hard for the MCU out there right now. I tell you what, if you got a movie coming out or a show, step your goddamn game up.
Okay? See, okay, I'm not hating on anyone who tweets this, but like, those like tweets where it's like, oh, they deserve an Emmy for like just crying. Like, no, Oscar Isaac deserves an Emmy for like he's literally carrying the entire show. Like, you can't. Like, no.
Yes.
Oh my god. That's why I'm like, nope. Put those tweets to rest. If I only see those tweets, it better be on Oscar Isaac. That's it.
100%.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Hemsworth, I'm looking at you, Chris Hemsworth. Step your
Chris Hemsworth is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the problem. He's just fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that'd be the perfect word. Yeah, he's fine. You mean
that's the problem? He's got to be like.
I mean,
I don't know. I think it's just like it's comfortable now.
I think he's fine.
I feel like they don't really put Thor in a position to really like, or Chris Hemsworth in a position to really like show off what his acting chops, if there are any chops to show off. But
what?
Well, okay.
Did we ignore his 4-movie arc? Did we ignore Ragnarok?
I want to add to that though. Like,
didn't you say he was fine? Now you're talking about like, wait a minute, sister, hold on.
No. You're saying they didn't give him a chance to spread his wings. I'm like, they 100% did.
I'm just saying, like, they're not putting him in a position where he's like playing 2 different characters and all this like crazy. Like Thor has been consistently Thor.
What?
Listen. I just say Thor has been consistently Thor throughout this.
No, but like even when he got like an emotional arc, they made a joke out of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they haven't really given him a chance to really like.
No, but like
he hasn't had a chance to put on a white Egyptian suit. Yeah, that's very specific. I just mean
of course not. He's not
emotion-wise.
I wasn't saying he had to do that, but as you can see, Oscar Isaac has the advantage here where he literally has to play two different people versus Chris Hemsworth is playing one person.
Absolutely. No, you have a point.
But that's not what we're saying. We're saying what he's bringing to the emotional role. Chris Hemsworth has had a few opportunities recently, not Thor 1 and 2. We get rid of those movies. They don't exist. We start from Ragnarok. Okay. We get rid of those movies. We start from Ragnarok. And in Ragnarok, when Odin dies, you see Chris Hemsworth really expand himself. He expands himself a lot. And then you watch Infinity War when Loki dies, and then Endgame. So I'm like, Chris Hemsworth 100% can act. I just said you got to step your game up. That was it. I didn't say the man couldn't act. Just step your shit up. That's it.
I didn't say that either. I'm just saying I'm like, if he has some chops, I want to see him. If not, that's fine.
I like it. I think he has more potential. I do.
I agree.
Especially after seeing his what do I have to lose take and him dealing with not going for the head when he could have killed Thanos. I think he has a lot of potential there that they're teetering on giving him.
I will say Taika understands Thor unlike we thought anyone could. He truly understands Thor.
I love Taika anyways.
His changes outside of that, questionable. But he understands Thor. That's never to be debated.
Whoa,
he understands
that's
Thor.
A talk for later. I won't.
What? That he doesn't understand Thor?
No, I thought you were saying it was questionable about me loving Taika.
No.
It's like he's amazing.
His
he's
decisions
brilliant.
Otherwise. Yeah, no, that's never up for question. Sith says, I will say that I appreciate how absolutely great Oscar is. He really shines as an actor in this show, and I'm really interested to see him as Jake. Low Wolfie says, of course you would love horror, Sith. Who doesn't love horror? Horror is the shit. That's the bee's knees.
Horror scares me.
I do have some.
It's doing its job. That's good. If you left Saw like, yo, I have never laughed so hard.
Saw is my comfort movie, actually.
Yeah, that'd be like, okay, Jamie, what's going on here?
First Halloween, though, I did laugh at quite a bit. But that's a really, really old movie. So
I was gonna say, yes, I'm with you. I did laugh when I watched it. I was just like, oh, this is kind of comical. But I understood it's out of its, I'm watching it out of when it first came out. I don't think it's a bad movie, but I definitely laughed at a whole lot of shit. When he fell out the window, I think is when I laughed the hardest. I was just like, yep, that's an old way to fall out of a window. That's a really old cheesy ass way to fall out of a window. But Didge, I want to pass it to you. What were your thoughts on this episode?
So, like I said earlier, I like the episode a lot. I do think it ended at the wrong time. I get everything that you guys are saying. I am one of those people who didn't know too much about the character leading in, and I did still like that last 10 minutes, but I think it would have served better as a lead into a next episode rather than ending off as what was supposed to be that cliffhanger. I think the cliffhanger of him getting shot, it going black is a better cliffhanger than, them seeing the hippo goddess and basically screaming it, and that's it. But throughout the episode, I thought it was amazing. Layla continues to show why she's the best badass on the show. And the horror aspects of this episode, like there were moments like when she got grabbed into the dark, she got out the first time, they got grabbed back in again.
Yes.
It's over.
Oh man, I thought she was a goner. I got so scared.
I was so upset. I was like, no, we just talked about how she can't die in this series, and she dies the next episode. So, like I said, I was enjoying it. And I can't even say I didn't enjoy that last 10 minutes. I felt like, we almost didn't need this right now. And yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I could probably agree with you once I see all 6 episodes. See what they do with 5, see where it would have fit if you had taken that out of 4. It's like, because you could watch a movie and go, oh, okay, I see why this was a deleted scene. Like this would be too much to put in there. So once I get all 6, I can kind of go like, yeah, I mean, I can see where Didge is coming from. But yeah, the more I see Layla being a badass, the more I'm like, yo, she needs to give Xialing a call Maybe they team up. They just run some shit for like a few years. You know what I'm saying?
She
has to make a phone call.
She has to be in something else after this. Like, there's no 100%. Way that if they say like, okay, this is the end of her story, I'd be so upset.
You know what? I will say this: the more I see like Shang-Chi with Jayla, and then this with Layla, I need Feige to step his shit up with that female Avengers movie. I need that shit ASAP. Like, he's really building out this female roster really fucking brilliantly. Like, I need that shit. Go ahead, Jamie.
I feel like we could see Layla possibly in Madripoor again, since they did mention it in episode 2 or 3, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So maybe she'll meet up with Sharon, and I don't know. That could be a thing. Maybe. Don't hate Juwaan. Don't hate. Don't hate
Sharon Carter. No, but seriously, Sharon Carter being part of that. I just want to see them all come together. That moment you got at the end of Endgame was like really iconic, and it's like, well, where are we going with this? Like, can we move this along and get to this already? Especially now that we're about to get Mighty Thor. It's like, hell yeah, Mighty Thor and Captain Marvel. End of the story. Who else do you need? Like, just like, hey, like, he's bothering us. And it's like, all right, just send those two. Just send those two. Let's go nuclear. Done. We all go home. So yeah, Layla needs to be part of that team. You know, whether she has powers or not, she can fuck somebody up, right? And who can't utilize that, right? You know what I'm saying? Come on now. But all right, so to move on, I want to go to you, Jayla. What were your thoughts on this episode?
I have many thoughts. I do want to take a quick second to touch on the horror aspects of this episode because, oh my God, I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled. The fight, the one-on-one Layla had had me like tense. Her running and being dragged back freaked me out. Her jabbing the flare into its eye socket, I think, or something of that nature. Yeah, while it's trying to like jab at her with his like missing hand bone. That was awesome. The dude that got gutted on the table while they're like making the clicking noises and like they're trying to get out of it. It was super cool. It was super intense. I thought it was really well done. I was really excited to see all of that. I really liked this episode for those reasons. It did make me feel like the original Mummies, Brendan Fraser Mummy. I'm not talking about Tom Cruise here. And I want to say, as far as the ending goes, because that's what we're all here to talk about, really. First, the transition of him dying, falling down, and the light turning into the movie with the different aspect ratio was awesome. It immediately caught my attention. I thought that was wonderful. I do think I took a different take or a different theory of where this is going. As far as the final 10 minutes, then some people have, please excuse me for my bad Greek mythology information if I kind of get this messed up, but basically the Hippogoddess, if I remember correctly, she helps gods and sometimes their avatars when they're like dying. Basically, if they're forgotten about, they kind of wither away, and she has this plane where she helps them through that process. So I think that's where he is personally. I think he's in this plane of kind of like a, what did they call it? Not afterlife, the in between. What's the word?
Purgatory.
Purgatory. It's a form of purgatory where gods go when they're forgotten about, because as they get as they're forgotten about, they wither away and die. I think that's kind of where they're going with this personally, is kind of take I was getting kind of building off of the comic book story and taking a new twist to kind of like keep the comic book readers guessing. That's where I think it's going. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but I was excited to see Jake.
You're pretty spot on.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm with you there. To me, I think it all just depends on whether or not this next episode is an origin. Because it's like, if you do an origin, you don't want to double down on that. Because that's essentially how he became Moon Knight. Is that he was dying and Khonshu came and saved him. So I'm like, if you double down on that, the viewer would be like, didn't I see this like 3 seconds ago?
That's what I was wondering.
You showed it in the origin? Right. I don't know, it depends. It depends for sure.
I don't know if they're going to actually show the origin, or if they're going to keep it kind of strict to dialogue or flashbacks as they go through where they're at. I'm really curious. I'm really curious how they handled the introduction. I cannot pronounce her name, I don't think, the Hippogoddess. I'm really curious to see how Steven and Mark, since they're now separated in this plane, how they react to it. How are they going to get Khonshu broken out of the thing? That's a whole other thing. How many gods were imprisoned? Because that's a bit suspicious as well. That's super suspicious. Obviously, Arthur's plan did not go as planned.
Right. I mean, when I saw those old gods, the first thing I thought is whoever the gods are now, when they first became gods, they definitely said, "Nah, I gotta get y'all old asses up out of here."
It's suspicious. I gotta get the hell up out of here. I'm very interested in. I will say it is kind of a bummer with Steven being so apprehensive in the time where it's not a good idea to be apprehensive. This is a very dire situation, and he is kind of made me feel a bit iffy. He knows that Khonshu was like, hey, just so you know, make sure you tell Mark to get me out. He knows he doesn't have the healing suit. He's a bit in over his head. But again, I want to see it play out to see if they build on that and if there's a thread that's going. Also, the Alexander the Great, as he's reaching through the throat, was a good bit too. So there's my word
with Mark in the background, like, get in there.
Get in there.
I was literally like, how far does he have to go? Good Lord.
He had to reach.
I really thought like when they said it was in the mouth, that it was just like in the mouth. Yeah. Like, no, I think they meant like here.
I saw the elbow going into his mouth. I'm like, good grief.
I literally thought it was gonna be like, all right, he opens his mouth, the head part of it is sticking out or something.
Yep. I do want to see.
Yeah.
The little the monsters are freaky, man. I just can't
the monsters were noises.
Terrifying. Oh god,
I did like that. I did like because they can't hear or see. I do like that was how that was kind of like how the vibrations is kind of how they got around.
So sick how they were kind of
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
And how I think Harrow might have been one of the scariest things in the episode too, is he just lingering around waiting.
He had that album cover look. Yeah, he had that album cover look. Yeah, like take this picture. Yeah, put that on the ground.
Hawk is chilling. He was chilling, absolutely chilling in this episode when he was playing the doctor. Mm-hmm. There's like the entire last 10 minutes had an eeriness for me that kind of felt surreal, and seeing like Steven slowly like wake up to what's going on was kind of like a very eerie, icky feeling.
Yeah, I mean, look, I personally loved, because I know a lot of people, and Juwaan, I want to pass it to you, your thoughts on this. What I loved most was, because I know I saw a lot of people on Twitter that are like early this morning are like, if you're Layla, how are you just believing the bad guy? But what you weren't noticing by her amazing acting was she had always knew there was more to that story, right? So it's more so hearing it like, I could fucking see Mark doing some shit like that, right?
Arthur even
she already doesn't trust him.
Like she knows deep down, and he's just like, you know the answer.
It's like, all right, like having a sibling, right? And you're like, all right, someone's been in my fucking closet, right? And then your sibling's like, it wasn't me, and you're like, all right, deep down, I know you were fucking in my closet. It's one of those. It is like your mom walks by. And
you're wearing my shirt.
Well, her bringing it up to him was like, I need to hear you say it.
100%. So it was more so just like confirming what she already suspected. So I wanted to pass it to you, Joel. Your thoughts on Layla kind of just like, I fucking knew there was something fishy about this motherfucker. And I love that she alluded to their comic accuracy. Because if you don't know the background, so yes, her dad did die. Yes, Mark was part of her dad dying. And yes, Mark very weirdly, and this could be a Netflix documentary of its own, fell in love with the person whose father died, and he knew all the information around it. So when she said, yeah, wait, no, that's how we met, is that my dad died. Like, that's really fucking creepy, Mark. But Joel, what were your thoughts on this episode and just seeing the accuracy play out between Layla and Mark?
I mean, it was a great scene. Primarily because, like, I know what's funny about Layla in general is, like, because I sat there this morning thinking to myself, I'm like, it's playing out exactly like in the comic book, like you were saying accurately, but the names are different. They're using a different name, like they're not using Ron, and they're going but the new name that they're using is a character as well. So it's like, I don't know why they're doing that.
I think, Joel, because I sat on that because we talked about this before. I think, in Blake, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the character Layla's portraying in the comic books was white, right?
Yes, I believe.
Okay, so I believe they're going for a more historically accurate background for what this character would be in this situation of an Egyptian background and everything like that. I think having a showrunner of color is why it's like, well, let's bring more color. Now, again, you didn't necessarily have to change the name, but I think when they went into the race change, they were just like, you know what? Fuck all that. Layla.
I think they changed the name along with a lot was because Marlene, love her, she's great in the comics, but there's not much to her.
Not at all.
Mark's like, I love you. You are part of my life. Sorry, I helped get your dad murdered. Kind of ends there. The show, she's his wife, partner, goes on the adventures with him. Like, she's a totally different character. She's not just Marlene.
But I will agree with Joel. Everything you're saying makes 100% sense, except for the need to change the name. So I agree with Joel in that sense. But I do understand why they drastically changed the character. The name is just like, where'd you land on that? But again, we know as soon as it ends, the following week we'll get making of Moon Knight, where I'm sure they'll answer a lot of questions that we have.
Very curious to see their because she is basically Marlene, and you know, they just I don't know. Layla's not the most Egyptian sounding name to me, but whatever.
No, not at all. I just mean the race change, not the name.
I don't care that she's white or white. I don't give a fuck. Why is she not named Marlene? That's my issue. I don't give what color she is. It's just that doesn't make.
Layla is an Arabic name. I didn't know that until I just Googled it. Now I was curious about that after you said that.
It isn't.
Layla is an Arabic name.
There you go.
Don't sound like no fucking whatever.
It doesn't. I was just curious. Right after you said it doesn't sound Egyptian.
Sound a little more Arabic. Well, okay, fine.
Hey, there you go.
I think I don't understand it, but whatever, fine, whatever. The point
they did say something in the show. What I don't even know what episode we're on anymore. I don't even know what day of the week it is, to be honest. But they did say something in the episode that came out before today about I'm tired. They did say something about like people get mad about Layla's name. So I don't know, because like in this episode they were saying they said that her father was like a famous archaeologist, right? And he was like kind of like, I wouldn't say like a golden boy, but people were, I guess he was a prominent figure. So I'm wondering why it is that it's maybe just Layla's name specifically that people get mad over, or I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I guess it's the change. But to me, I still, at the end of the day, I'm like, changing Marlene to Layla is nowhere near as confusing as where you've gone with a few other directions.
No,
some of these characters. Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. But I'm like, again, when we see the making of, I believe they will maybe shed some light to that, because it is big. Like, it's not small. Like, oh, okay, you change the hair color. Like, no, it's pretty significant. So I assume they'll probably fill in
those assembled documentaries. Really go into what about the comics inspired them, which I love hearing about. So
yeah, me too. True. I definitely have a lot of questions with their choices that they've made. The biggest one for me to get used to was Steven. I think we've kind of agreed on that. It's been very, very, very interesting to get used to. I don't know. I have to see it play out. That's kind of where I am. I don't know if he's going to have a character arc where he's a much different attitude by the end of it. So that's why I'm kind of waiting to see the full picture before.
I love that you say that, Jayla, because I'm still trying to get over Mark hesitating to kill a motherfucker. Like I sat on that for a while. Like,
I just need Steven to get some self-preservation.
I'm waiting to see like if like Mark is going through a rough time, he kind of like goes back to how, you know, we know him to be. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know where they are or what they're planning for the character arcs, because, you know, it's taking a turn that, you know, a lot of us didn't really expect. So it's very interesting to see. I'm very curious to see what they have planned for the characters, because I have no idea what to expect right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, when they do these explanation episodes, I appreciate it, mainly because it's like, MCU makes so many changes, and it's like I wish the movies had those, to where you could just see why they did this. Like, what were you thinking when you did good or bad? Yeah. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, just
more, even the bad, when you see 100%. And their inspiration, how they want to take their own twist to it. Because I always appreciate someone bringing their energy into something and bringing their perspective into a project that has a beloved source material, because you never know what they can make with that.
I mean, and look,
how we got Harley Quinn.
Yes, Blake brought it up today on Twitter, and it was, you were literally like taking form of me and just screaming what I've been screaming. Joel know how much I hated it, but I'm like, you've been building up Zemo, right? You give us Zemo, and he wears the helmet just to shoot the rocket launcher and takes it off. Like, what's your process behind that?
What about that? Why did you remind me?
Because it's one of those things where it's like you want to watch what made you decide that, because it's like, if you're gonna do that, just don't wear the mask, and I just have to get over that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, either do it or
to put it on and then take it off. It's like,
yeah,
that's a decision. That's a choice.
Yeah.
But no, those making shows are great, man. I definitely suggest watching it for The Mandalorian. If anyone here hasn't watched it, hear Dave Filoni's thoughts on Phantom Menace. It really gives you a different outlook on Phantom Menace, hearing Dave Filoni talk about that shit. But Joel, what else stood out to you in this episode?
Aside from the weird name change, which again, not a big deal, but they did name, like I think Dom mentioned it, that Abdul Faul is an actual character, the Scarlet Scarab, and like they're using that as the archaeologist instead of the professor. That's like I believe a Invader character, Thor character, whatever. And he has a son, not a daughter. So I'm like, whatever. They're using different names. Maybe there's a reason for them later down the line. We'll figure out. But which I look forward to seeing how they go through with it. And she's been a great character. She's been awesome, you know, regardless. I enjoy I do enjoy the dynamic between Mark and Steven, even though Steven is fucking annoying. And it's funny because there was moments during this episode where I'm like, yeah, Trevon's gonna hate that. I'm like, but he's such a weirdo, a quirky weirdo. But it's kind of, I don't mind it, and I think he's still growing into himself, you know.
I agree.
Which I hope, you know, later on he'll grow more of a backbone, which I think he will. But we'll see. You know.
I think he's slowly doing it every episode.
Yeah, little by little.
He's braver at this point. I can say that for sure.
I feel like it's mean to show those sticks that he has, and he's like, I think these are cool, and just never see them again.
I know.
Hopefully we do later.
Yeah.
I hope we see another. I hope that's
you know, it's so funny. Jake's sitting in the back, just like, wait, guys. As soon as I come out, I'm gonna kill people with sticks, rocks.
Don't worry,
everything.
I got you.
Like, I got you. Don't worry, I got it. Just wait till I arrive. Just wait till I arrive. It's so funny. He's talking all this about Moon Knight. Blake knows the only thing I'm waiting to see. I just want the Moon Knight mobile. I just want that shit.
I call it the Spectre mobile because he's got the coolest license plate ever. When he rolls up, it says Spectre. He's like, okay.
Yes. I love that, man. I just want that limo. I want that Moon Knight limo. I want it desperately.
I want the moon copter. I want him to give Frenchie that blueprint, and Frenchie just give him a double look like, you're sure. Like, what you want, and he's like, yes, that is what I want.
I want to see Frenchie. Like, we were talking about Frenchie, I want to see Frenchie.
I was about to say, is that a character that was in the show? Because I don't remember them at all.
They teased him in the first episode. He's on the phone, but obviously we haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Name so far.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to that as they explore more of the world of Moon Knight.
We haven't seen yet.
I hope we get to for another season. I really do.
That's a good
question. Said it today. Kanan asked me, he's like, do you think they'll do another season? And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. It seems like Oscar wanted breathing room when he signed on, right? So I'm like, I could very much see Moon Knight just popping up in other shit. So they decide what they want to do for a movie or a season 2 or whatever. It's very much
he would get his own movie before he would get a season 2.
Right, but it's very much a character
that's having a season. No, I was gonna say, of the Marvel shows, isn't Loki the only one that's having a season 2 that we know of?
What if?
What if is getting one?
Oh, what if is okay.
Yeah, everything else is a limited series because like they'll move to movies or something else.
Yeah, right.
Say it again.
Loki's getting a season 2 as well,
yeah,
right?
Loki and What If, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably because like they were all, everything else was considered a limited series, and like they've moved to like other further projects, like in movies and stuff like that.
Because look, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was just your stairs to get to a Captain America 4.
Right.
WandaVision was just your stairs to get to Doctor Strange. So those I don't need you to double down on that. Like
Loki's completely different because you saw why the show.
I still feel like that doesn't need a season 2, but
I want a season 2.
Loki's dead. It's got to be in his own show.
Look, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the episode of Loki where he has a Moon Knight episode where he wakes up and he's like, "Am I still dead? Did I dream this whole thing?" And it's like, "Yes, you're dead. Get out of here. You dreamt it all." But no. Sith Morrison, I do see what you and Jayla were saying about Descent vibes. I haven't seen that movie. I have not seen that movie in forever.
Ooh, what a movie. What a movie to go into blind.
What was the one? Where was the movie where it was like the plants attack? Ruins? The Ruins. Is it The Ruins?
The Ruins?
It was The Ruins.
Yeah, it's The Ruins. I know you're not about the happening.
I love
as long as it's not the happening.
Oh God, no! Who wants to do that?
It was plants
attack. So.
Oh my God, I don't even remember that. I thought they were just saying it was ghost or some shit.
No, it was plants. It was like they're angry about climate change.
Earth was fighting back, basically.
Yeah.
That was the movie that after I saw that, I was just like, you guys are still gonna give Mark Wahlberg work. All right, okay. All right. We're seeing two different things here, I guess.
Oh my God.
Right, let's move on. Let's go to Sabrina. Sabrina, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Well, like, I don't know. I guess for half the discussions, I'm always in like the minority. I think I loved this episode, and like I liked that it was very like it didn't have to just focus on Moon Knight and like Mr. Knight. Like we got like more of like Steve and Mark and like Layla. Like I loved how Layla focused it was too, and like seeing her acting, her being a badass, her being able to handle her own.
She stole the show.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or get kidnapped and have to be saved by Moon Knight or saved by Mark.
Yeah, well, like that's what I mean. She's like, you literally the line. It was like, I don't need protecting. Girl, you don't. You definitely don't.
I loved her fight with the what are they? What are the mummies?
Like the mummy priest
or something?
Mummy monster thingy. Yeah, that was.
Like it.
Is it Pharaoh?
Thank you.
Not an actual. That's not an actual character from anything, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had an official name. I just wasn't.
Creature.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure if you go through the credits, it does have an actual name. I'm just saying it doesn't come from comic lore.
That whole scene, I was like, hey, what is that? What's that?
You know what's funny? Because I watch things at 3 a.m. I blinked really hard because if you remember how Thor starts, that's how the ice giants looked. They looked just like wrong. That because the tint was so dark in that movie. So I looked at it, I'm like, no fucking way. And then you hear, okay, all right, hold on now.
So the noise they make will never leave me. It was like, I hated it.
I thought it was a cicada. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing that they're fighting? It's cicada.
And the way they move too, their movements, the way they were like feeling around with their fingers.
Yeah.
Like blind, right?
I thought it was another jackal or something, and I'm like, why is it clicking so much? Like, did we just get into The Last of Us? Like, are there clickers?
Whatever it was, it was nasty. It was nasty looking. No, not a pleasant sight.
Not at all. Goodness gracious. But I love how Layla defeated it and then rolled over and screamed like, fuck.
I
was like I said, like that scared me because I was like, no. I was like, you can't.
I was looking, thinking, Steven was gonna hear it and be like, oh no, something happened to her.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too. I was like,
I'm so.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
If they had killed Layla, you better end strong as hell with these last 2 episodes.
I would have been mad.
They better be
every
goddamn.
My motivator, for
especially
Steven,
after
that's
this.
all she was.
Nah.
That's why I was like, no.
Look, if we get in Thor and Mighty Thor, give me Mr. Moon Knight and Mrs. Moon Knight if you want to kill Layla. Mr. Knight and Mrs. Knight. Shit. Don't just be killing Layla. But no, Sabrina,
Layla's fine with her. That's all she needs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Look, the way Tessa Thompson pulls off a suit, I am curious to see what Layla looks like in the suit and just straightening it out, rolling up the sleeves, and just.
Ooh.
like I can picture Layla showing up to a crime scene, and then Mark.
She has the energy for it.
And Mark's like, "All right, I'm here to save the day," and Layla's like, "You're like 30 minutes late. I whooped their ass like 20 minutes ago. Yeah, you can go home." Like he's like, "All right, Layla, you gotta move. This is my
don't tell me that, because if I don't get it, I'll be upset. Because I love that. I love that. Don't tell me that.
Look. The MCU, when it comes to stuff like that, they're very good. Because look, Xialing, what she meant to Shang-Chi in that movie, and where you saw her character going, that's nothing I would have ever imagined they would have done with that character. So it's like they want these, because we look at them as like secondary characters, right? They're taking secondary characters and making them primary characters. So I appreciate that with the MCU, because I'm like, now you look at Xialing, you're like, you could do a whole series. You could do a Disney Plus series about where her journey goes.
That's how you do women characters.
100%. There's no need in 2022. There should be no such thing as a damsel in distress. No such thing.
You don't have to push the narrative that they're a female hero.
She doesn't like Captain Marvel, is what she's getting at.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Look, there were a lot of points in that movie that I was just like, all right, you know, us as men understand, like we're not all pieces of shit, Captain Marvel. Like that movie was very much just like, men, you're pieces of shit. And it's like, all right.
It's like, oh, it's like literally like women's. It's
like, okay. Look, I'm siding with you. You don't have to keep shitting down my throat. Like, because I'm watching it and I'm just like, yeah, men shouldn't say things like that. Men shouldn't do that. And then they were just like, all right, let me double down.
No, that's not how you do it.
Like, I get it. I'm like, we've seen female characters that are very prominent that didn't have to shit down people's throats.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Sure.
But
I also think part of that movie's problem was having two different directors. Because I guarantee you, when they were in that writer's room, he was like, no, I see it that way. She was like, no, I see it that way. And it was just like, well, we got to now mold this. And it's like, well, it didn't land. It just didn't. It's a solid movie. It's not horrible by any means. But there are a lot of decisions that were made that I'm like, did Kevin see this? Did he? He did okay. All right. Okay.
And he approved this? All right.
All right. Very interesting. I mean, I know me and Joel talked about it when that cat scratched Fury's eyes out. It was just like, all right, look, how do you fail this? How do you fuck this up so just colossally? Like,
that was something I was like, I was confused. I'm like, really? He lost his eye because a cat scratched him?
Yeah. Like, yeah, like that was. And look,
because what he said in Captain America 2 is like the last time I touched someone, I lost my eye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, Joel, what was the biggest thing we thought was just like all right, you're doing too much, that we talk about all the time? It had to do with Fury.
Oh, well, I mean, almost everything had to do with Fury.
With just Fury?
No. I'm saying that the specific scene I'm talking about had to do with Fury.
I was like...
Yeah, when they were saying like, oh, everyone's a threat, and then it got to Fury, and it's like, oh, you're not a threat. It's just
not a threat. I'm like,
all right, guys.
I get it.
All right, guys. And then the whole forced narrative of the Avengers Initiative was just like, all right.
Her jet was the Avenger. I'm like, oh, God, okay.
Like, okay, get me out of this thing.
What is this? What is happening right now? Like
what?
You
get the shit on shit. We get the shit on shit. That's
I don't bash Batman like this.
No. You started this thing about the shit on Batman. What are we talking about? We had to stop you.
I see what it is.
Again, I want to be clear, Trevon. Not one person here said that movie was horrible or Captain Marvel.
You just did.
Not. No one said that.
You just
I like that movie. I said I like that movie.
Look, there still is no movie worse than Thor: Dark World. I don't even think there's anything close.
MCU.
So no. MCU, yes, only MCU. Yeah. There's some X-Men movies.
MCU.
Yo, shout out to little.
Ow.
I'm sorry. What did I just? I heard something that caught my ear that
I said I like the X-Men movies.
All of them?
They're good. Some of them are good.
All of them?
I kind of like some of them too.
I do too.
Now let me say this.
All of them?
I don't know which ones were like the worst ones and which ones were like the best ones because I watched it growing up. You know, I watched them with my mom.
X-Men movie.
I will defend them. I like them.
Even Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Like you're
yes, I have both.
The new no. Now the new ones that came out most recently, I don't claim those. I don't.
No. You don't get to do that.
Talking about
no, you don't get to do
that. I was talking about X-Men Origins. I was talking about.
You like that movie?
I can't.
Over Dark Phoenix.
That's the worst one.
The new one.
Okay, I actually like Apocalypse. I'm sorry, I like Apocalypse. I'm not gonna get shit for that, but yeah.
Apocalypse. I like Apocalypse. I don't like Dark Phoenix. I thought
Apocalypse was better than Dark Phoenix. They both were awful.
Apocalypse was better than Dark Phoenix. Both were better than Wolverine Origins.
Everything is better than Wolverine Origins.
Someone had to say it. Just so we're clear here.
No, I have
no.
I have Logan.
Logan's awesome. Logan's
amazing.
Logan's in like another category.
Yeah, 100%. Logan's the best. You can sit here and like rank X-Men movies, but you know.
Right.
I remember seeing the other day that someone said Days of Future Past is better than Logan. And I was like, they're not even in the same category.
I did see someone say that.
It's definitely more rewatchable.
Did you block them?
I watched Logan one time. That was it for me.
I'm not gonna tell you who it is. But yeah, I was like,
I think I know who it
is. That's a rough one.
Yeah, I was like, they're not even in the same like league. Absolutely not.
I kind of agree in rewatchability. I can't rewatch Logan.
You can't rewatch Logan?
No. It makes me sad.
I can see why.
It's an emotion. No, that's I haven't watched it in a long time just because it makes me sad when I think about it. Like it fucked me up when I watched it, so I was like, I can't.
Welcome back.
Emotionally.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I just can't do it.
Back too soon.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Film is subjective,
He's having
right?
a tough time, guys. Let him process.
Everybody can like what they like, right?
That's true.
No.
I guess we draw the line at Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything.
Put it on my rewatch list to see if it deserves this hate.
Please do.
You don't remember that well?
Please do, and actually message me your thoughts on it. I would love to hear it. Honestly,
I will.
Listen, I'm all about respecting people's opinions, but I think some movies deserve that hate. I'm sorry.
What are we? There's no conversation to be had. That almost single-handedly killed Wolverine. That movie almost single-handedly made the world say, I don't ever fucking want to see that character ever again.
They turned Deadpool into a Mortal Kombat
It was
character.
Just like, holy shit.
Yikes.
Like, good. Yo, Jamie, I say this all the time. Someone sent me a unedited version of that movie before it came out, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, they're going to fix this. They're going to fix this. The movie came out, and that shit was only slightly better than the leaked version I watched.
Did everybody see the unedited one that came out before the movie came out? No? All right.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Joel, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's like, all right, they're going to get better. And then you watch the movie, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you just said, roll the shit out.
I didn't say it was the best X-Men movie. I just said I enjoyed it for what it was.
That's not my issue. That's not my issue. My issue was you said you love the X-Men movies and then got very specific on which ones.
No, you just threw one. I just said I couldn't even name the titles, and you're like, you like Origins? I was like, yeah, sure, I like Origins.
Oh my God.
I do.
Don't just say yes to anything. Don't just say yes to anything, Jay.
Hey man, they're only the X-Men movies that came out most recently are the only ones that I was like, kind of like, I don't know. But the older ones I enjoyed. And it might just be like, I grew up watching it with my mom. It might be a sentimental thing, but
like
a nostalgia thing. But maybe I don't know.
X-Men 2 is fantastic.
I get that. I still can't get over that. Your introduction to Wolverine was that he was a cage fighter. What?
I feel like they did his intro so many times because there was like intro where he was just hanging out with his wife, I think, and then like something happened, then he got turned into
an old man.
Yes, because unfortunately, that whole universe was all over the fucking place. I watched Charles Xavier die, show back up at the end of the movie, then show up as an end credit scene with no explanation.
Remember when?
Like, what the fuck?
You want to hear the biggest one?
He loved her.
Yes.
Which one?
Go ahead, Joel.
My biggest issue, honestly, was at the end of, I think it was Days of Future Past, where they show, and that movie's good. Days of Future Past is really good.
Right.
They show Mystique at the end, like in Striker's form, I believe. You remember? You see her eyes turn yellow.
Yep.
Right, or whatever the fuck. And they, I think they pull a Wolverine out of the water or some shit.
Yes. Yep. Pull him out of the water.
Okay. The next movie that is never mentioned again. Like that never happened. Like they ignored that ever even happened.
And look, my biggest beef with the newer ones was like, yes, we all know Apocalypse, right? We all know Apocalypse looked like fucking Ivan Ooze. We all know that they clearly never seen Apocalypse, right? When they made that movie.
They tried to.
My biggest issue with that movie was I'm watching it, right? And I'm watching them say, oh no, Magneto's a bad guy. Like it's clear he's a bad guy. This is what he stands for. And then I'm watching them go, but Mystique, that's a hero.
Yeah.
What fucking Twilight world am I in? What? Like, what? You just gave me 4 movies where she was a villain, and now she's a good guy. What?
Yeah. And she's all for mutant rights and mutant power, but never wants to stay a mutant. So it's like it's really weird.
It's the weirdest goddamn translation, man. I swear to God, those movies just.
How many times they're going to do the Dark Phoenix story?
Until they get it right.
You know it's sad, Jayla? You know it's sad? I feel like we'll never get it again.
There's so
I feel like we'll never get it again.
There's so much good shit that comes out of that if they do it right.
So many great X-Men stories.
I don't think we're gonna ever see it again.
We're never gonna see that shit again.
I'm scared. I don't trust it. I feel like they're just in on us.
You know what's
wait. Did we ever talk about I think there was a thing that said like Wolverine was gonna be Miss Marvel's show, right? Was that a rumor? Was that confirmed?
What? No.
Wait, what? Say it again.
What?
Hold on. Let me.
What was just said? Hold on.
I read this.
Breaking news. No,
they said that Wolverine was going to be in Miss Marvel's show.
No.
Hold on.
Why would that even possibly make it?
No.
I was like, why would they do that? But
ask that person right now.
Like, huh? Like your best chance to do that would have been when you introduced Madripoor.
Okay,
having just stories about Wolverine.
We've heard rumors of Wolverine and Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Hold on. Marvel.com. This was released on the 13th. Miss Marvel joins Wolverine, Moon Knight, Venom, and more this summer. Wait, they're talking about comics?
Are they talking about comics?
Yeah, they're talking about comics. It's a new series.
They knew what I was gonna think when I read that. Damn it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Usually Marvel.com is very comic book centric. Like movie news and shit like that. Yes, sporadically they do post that, but it's usually comic book news that's breaking news for them.
Movie news, Marvel Studios maybe, but not.
Or if you're looking for movie news, just GVN.com, baby.
Yeah, right.
This is true.
Not on our page, it's not real.
Yeah, if it's no, that's the gospel. Because I've seen Kanan delete something that he's like, oh, that shit's not real. So if it's not on our page, it's not real. But no, I'm glad, Lil Wolfie, we were able to give you a good laugh. Those X-Men movies, look, I say this all the time. I thought Star Wars fans got dark when they got divided, right, by those 3 movies. There is nothing like the people that will defend those new age X-Men movies with their life. Those
they are fun.
Fan base.
There won't be
I didn't know that there are people defending them. Trayvon, you're the first.
Yes.
Trayvon's the first for a lot of things, though.
Yes. I'm telling you, Twitter can sometimes become a dark place where you're like, wait, people like that shit? And then you see a million people tweeting about that they loved it. And you're like, I didn't think there were 3.
Hey.
I did too, and I wanted my money back.
They were fun. Like, I don't get it. I don't
because know. Trayvon, when I go see these movies, fun usually isn't the the biggest word for me when I go into these movies. I'm not looking for fun. You got to first hit some kind of accuracy. No. For me, first, you have to hit some kind of accuracy with these characters that you understand them, right? and then you can get to the visuals, and then the costumes, and then the fun.
They got some powers. They're flying around.
Doesn't all that come together to make fun?
Because to me, look, as you could say, Apocalypse is the most fun movie in the world. I can't get over Apocalypse. I can't get past that.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be fun, but I can't get past that shit.
Look, all I want for this next generation of X-Men, I want Wolverine to be a gross little man. I want him to be really gross.
I want to be over 5. He can't be over 5'5".
Ain't gonna be gross. Ain't gonna be gross.
Rolling around.
Over 6 feet.
I like this gross man. I can't.
Can we at least have like a short king? I don't want a short troll. Like, give me a short king.
No,
he has to be like 5. Like 5'5" max.
Nah,
please.
I'm
begging them.
Okay.
Just keep him under 6 foot. I don't want him.
Can we just like CGI a way Wolverine of Hugh Jackman?
We can't have a Wolverine that's like 5'10". Like no,
I don't want a Wolverine that's taller than Cyclops and every other X-Men on the floor. That's all.
Thank you.
He has to be like 5'5".
Does the height
I
really
want
matter?
to be a little weirdo.
Yes, the height matters.
A little angry weirdo.
The only time I ever heard this is when people talk about the comic. Like I never knew Wolverine to be.
I didn't know it either.
Okay, time out. Hold on. Everyone stop. Time out. Hold on.
Why does it have to be short?
Time out. Hold on. Because I love that Trevon said that. Hold on. I love that Trevon said that. Now, let me say this. Sabrina, what did we talk about not too long ago? There is a generation, right, that was raised on Bane looking the way Christopher Nolan established him to look, right? So there is a generation that believes Bane is that, right? So Trevon, what you're saying is
my Bane is from Batman and Robin. That's what I think Bane is.
Oh hell,
that's possibly even
worse. Thank you.
That's possibly even worse.
What's wrong?
But to
I
me,
liked it. I thought it was cool. Whatever.
To me, here's the problem. Me and Joel always say this. Here's the problem with Wolverine and the way that Fox did it.
Over that one.
People thought Wolverine was the X-Men, like he was the name the X-Men. They thought he was the leader of the X-Men, right?
A lot of people that
and you're watching Wolverine tower. He should never tower anybody on that team, right? So it's like you need him to. You watch the animated series, Trevon. Was he as tall as Cyclops?
But I didn't. That's not something I like. Remember? Oh, was he short? I didn't. That wasn't.
Yeah.
The animated show is not something I was thinking about.
How did that not stick out?
When you watch an animated show, I'm like, oh, let me look at how tall he is. That's not what I was doing.
I wasn't heavy until like the cartoon growing up, so like I didn't know.
I saw that shit from there and reading the comics. That's just insane.
That's not a thing.
Why is that important to Wolverine?
Short people need love
because
too.
like it says
because the character should not be that tall.
Really.
Why though? Does that add something? Like is that
time out. Let me ask you guys this. Jamie, you spoke about X-Men Origins, right? Did you enjoy that Gambit?
Do you remember the Gambit?
In the Gambit was he in the movie that long? Like
exactly.
No. Did you like that Gambit? Was the question. Not how long was he in there? Did you like it?
It was okay, I guess.
Okay,
God, I forgot
that's the
Gambit
problem.
was in that movie.
That's the problem, that you didn't have any issues with their portrayal of Gambit. That's not Gambit.
Yeah, that was a horrible Gambit.
I also Gambit from the cartoon.
I also forgot Gambit was in the
Gambit
movie.
has gotten the worst.
What does that have to do with?
Was he supposed to get a solo project?
It was
supposed to be Channing Tatum.
Yeah, right? What happened to that?
It was supposed to be Channing
Fox
Tatum.
got bought out.
It was.
Yeah, Fox got bought out.
It was.
Oh, now I'm hella upset.
Me too.
Fox got bought out.
I wanted it to happen. I really did.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when Disney bought Fox, Kevin looked at all of Fox's slates and said, "Okay, yeah, none of this."
He snapped
none
it.
of you
he
are
got
happy.
the Infinity Gauntlet from Fox, and he was like,
They were working on a Kitty Pryde project. They were working on a Multiple Man project. They're working on a lot of shit. And then they got bought out.
As soon as Kevin Feige landed, he said, no, everything, no, garbage, no. But the reason why we say it's important is it is important to that character. Like Gambit's accent is very important to Gambit. You can't just say, well, who cares if he doesn't have a Cajun accent? That's Gambit.
I fucking care.
That's Gambit. That's Gambit. That's very important to Gambit.
I'll give you an example.
You would be
like,
hey,
that's equivalent
all
to height.
actors, anybody taller than 5'5", you cannot audition.
Like, because accent is also like a part of like your culture and your identity. Height is not a part of your identity. Like me being 5'9", I would do the same if I was 5'6".
It's 100% part of that character's identity.
That's what I'm saying. How is it like? Does him being short? He's like, I'm mad because I'm short. Like, is that like a part of his characteristics?
No. It's the aesthetic of the character. It's the aesthetic of the character.
When you look at king, you said it.
Yes, he's a short king.
There you go.
He's just short.
There you go.
Listen, I have no qualms with short kings. Okay, all I'm saying is that I don't understand why Wolverine needs to be a short king. I'm not against it.
Because we never got it.
Why is everybody so passionate about my height?
Because that's the character. That's why we're passionate.
He's always
I just don't.
He's like dad and stuff. Like I don't know.
It's the same.
That's definitely the character.
Bye,
Blake.
Bye, Blake.
Bye, guys. Bye, bye. Have fun.
Thanks for coming.
It's the same for like. I need another example. Hang on.
All I'm saying is this. Look, you look at Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. You got 3 different interpretations of Spider-Man. That's important. Why? Because that's 3 different versions of that same character. Some of you guys are okay with Hugh Jackman literally dying with that fucking character. I want to see something drastically different where he has a suit on, he's shorter, right?
Yeah,
and he's used properly.
And I want them to use his sense of smell more too.
Yes,
yes. Other senses more.
That makes more sense than requiring height.
Yeah. Okay. And also because another thing,
the senses, yes. The height, no.
Another thing, Jamie. A lot of times he was using his sense of smell so much he was kind of like hunched over, like sniffing things out. So like that's another reason why.
Like being close to the ground.
Yeah, so it kind of
I can see that
better if he's shorter and hunched over.
Yeah, imagine like the 6'3" guy just crawling on the ground.
Time out, and also have to look at this. Aesthetically, the suit looked better. The suit looked better on that Wolverine. I can't picture that suit on Hugh Jackman's tall ass like that. That shit just visually wouldn't look pleasing.
Done. I don't no bullshit.
It would have been altered, yes. But if you get a height accurate Wolverine, you could pull off that exact suit. You could pull that shit off easily. That's what we're saying. So there's accuracies to character.
If we're gonna get a new Wolverine, just try something different. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I'm open to it.
Just don't make him 7 foot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Sith Morrison. Also, Sith Morrison. That's what Sabrina's been saying for forever. Bane is awful in The Dark Knight Rises, but he's a good original villain. If he wasn't Bane, like if he wasn't Bane and he created like an original character, he would have been fucking perfect.
Yeah, I have no idea why.
That's why I hate so much on Tom Hardy's Bane, because it's like people. And I constantly say this, and it's like, this is the problem. We've talked about this on one of the episodes, but like, because most people that I like talk to about this are like, I talk about like the whitewash, and they're like, oh, that doesn't bother me. It should, because that's literally like part of who Bane is. And like, I know we're discussing this with like little things about Wolverine. Same thing with Bane. Like, his ethnicity is one of the most important things about his character. And that there's people who don't know about the character besides from Rises, and they're like, "Oh, that wouldn't bother me." It should, because like it's not just like
What makes it even worse is DC has doubled down on it. So in the Harley Quinn series, Bane looks like that.
Yeah, and he's like a joke, and it's like, oh man.
I'm sorry, he sounds like that. He sounds like that.
It's funny that I not that this is a big deal, but like Bane's not one of my favorite like all time like top 5 favorite Batman villains, but like I just, because of like how it became such an important part of his character, especially like in more recent years, like that, to take that away from a character, it's the same thing. I say it with Talia, like it's not even just Bane. They did it with Talia, Rage, and Bane. That's a problem. Yep. That's a huge problem, because like people who don't know these characters would be like, oh, it's not a big deal. Well, that's the point. Like, it's that whole representation and who they are as characters, that like it's part of their story and who they are.
Hold on, we got some breaking news I wanted us to talk about before we end this stream. So, in Trevon, I want you to breathe. Just
what about Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
It's a day before my birthday next year. So
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has been pushed back to June 2nd of 2020.
Yeah, it was. I saw that earlier, and I was like, ugh.
Part 1. Summer birthdays. There you go, Trevon.
Yeah, so part one is 2023, and obviously part 2 is March 29th, 2024.
They've taken Breath of the Wild from me. Huh? They've taken Into the Spider-Verse from me. Yeah. What else are they gonna say?
And we're getting the I will not call it by that name. I will call it the Dakota Johnson movie, will be released July 7th, 2023.
You don't want to call it Madam Web?
If you say it like
no.
Why are we even talking about Madam Web? Honestly,
that's what I know.
I can't wait for Madam Web. This is me.
Understandable. I get it.
That's fine. I will never stop you from having a good time.
I completely get it. I think it's a fucking abomination. But
I'm ready for all these superhero movies.
I haven't heard literally nothing about it though. Why already?
I mean, look, if it comes out in July, that means it's filming like immediately, and it's gonna have a pretty short filming.
If Madam Web is my birthday movie, I'm selling all my comic books.
Oh, it comes out right after. It comes out right after my birthday. But why?
Yeah, part 1 was supposed to be my birthday. It was like the day before my birthday it came out.
Yep. We were supposed to go see it all together. We were supposed to see it all together.
Yeah. Like I haven't heard anything about it.
I'm upset.
Yes, sad, as you shouldn't. Sony should keep this a secret till it comes out.
What else is coming out around that time?
This is why we shouldn't get release dates until they're absolutely sure.
Yeah.
For what month?
October.
Absolutely sure.
Yeah, I went from October to
June.
Also, remember, guys, when movies move, it's not because of competition. It's just usually sometimes they just feel as though it's better spacing for their
ready?
movies.
You want to go next year's schedule, June to July?
No. Trayvon was asking about October.
No, I know, but you want to know how?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so June 2nd is Across the Spider-Verse. June 23rd is The Flash. July 7th is Madam Web, and July 28th is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
The Flash ain't happening.
So that's like bam.
I don't know why you keep saying
July birthday.
The Flash is done.
July 2nd.
I think the movie will happen, but I don't know.
Wow, buddies!
Right?
What? That's so cool.
Oh, y'all got the same birthday.
Look at that. Did we just get? Wait, did we just get a real life Step Brothers scene right there? That shit's crazy. Did we just become best friends?
Buddies.
All right.
That's so sick.
Wait, Madam Web coming out next month? No, not next. No, not next.
No.
Oh my god. Oh wait, hold on. Let's go through these again.
Next year.
Well, everyone wants Iron Man to stay with Robert Downey Jr. No. Here's the difference, and I think people forget about this. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is in the MCU. They didn't create a new MCU, and they're asking him to come back. Hugh Jackman had his time in the sun. We need to see someone else. Yeah. And that's not even. I was about to say that's not even a great example because Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is dead. So it's like he's currently dead. We don't see him right now. I do believe he'll come back for a movie, but then that's probably it.
You have the spirit of Iron Man with War Machine and Ironheart right now.
He's gonna have
like a Jedi ghost. Yeah, Force Ghost.
Right. Nolan should have
voice
used
of the AI.
Nolan should have used Deathstroke instead of Bane. I don't disagree with that. I for the life of
No, don't even argue that. No, I don't want to hear that. Mm-mm.
I mean, he makes a good point. You wanted grounded characters and used Bane. That made no sense.
No.
What? Okay.
Not Deathstroke. Anybody else besides Bane or Deathstroke? No. I love Deathstroke's one of my favorite villains of all time.
Okay.
And yes, now in more recent years he's a Batman villain, but he did start as a Titans villain. But I do consider him. I was more in the Batman Deathstroke fight when it was the Batfleck movie, but a lot of people shit on me for this. I don't see Pattinson fighting him anytime soon. I don't see that.
No, not anytime soon.
I don't think.
Well, I just don't see it because I don't know. It made sense for there's certain things that they were planning for Ben Affleck's movie when he was Batman that made sense for him, but Pattinson, no, because it's I don't know.
The only reason to me Slade worked for Batflick was clearly they weren't going to do a Titans universe within that universe.
Well, it's not even that. Well, it's not even that. They made it more
a more expanded universe.
Well, that and because he showed up in Justice League and because he also they made it they were going to make it a more personal vendetta kind of thing, a whole eye for an eye thing, which was that would have worked.
Right.
Because that's the kind of story and like I said, in more recent years they fought, but he's not his greatest enemy. He's Nightwing's greatest enemy. That's the back and forth.
100%.
And like I said, I've tweeted about it too. Like, I love me saying that I still love when Batman and Deathstroke are together, but like he's not a traditional Batman villain, but he's become part of Batman's rogues gallery in more recent years.
Right. Now, I will say to that, that's not even the biggest issue. My biggest issue is Cyborg's not a Titan. That's the most important thing. That's where you begin and you end. Cyborg
I'm sorry, wait, what? You mean
Cyborg isn't on Titans. He needs to be on Titans, not Doom Patrol.
Oh, are you saying like he's not a Titan? I was like, yes, he is.
Well, the New 52 would have you believe he's a part of the Justice League.
That's okay.
That's where the problem begins. But
I have some theories on why that's a thing, but I don't know if it's say it like on here on why Cyborg's on Doom Patrol. But
I just think because they're idiots.
But he's good on Doom Patrol.
I think it's more to that.
Yeah, I think they're just purely
okay. I personally think it was like one to be petty against Ray because like they definitely like there's certain lines in some episodes when they first introduce him that's like very definitely like a jab to Ray's Cyborg. Fair. Like I could feel it. Like there was like some things that I was like, dude, because they didn't have people who don't know the comics. It's like Doom Patrol is like not really the biggest like team. I love Doom Patrol. I love the comics. Beast Boy is the only like Titan that was before Titans part of Doom Patrol.
Right.
And you saw that in Titans, like when they cross over for their show. Right. And I think it was to get people to watch and be like, oh, hey, I know that character because some people don't know these characters.
Absolutely. Right.
Okay, a confession. I've never seen Doom Patrol. But when that scene came up where like they introduced Garth and Titans, I'm like, this feels like there's more to this than just this
yeah.
Well, that's not even the worst part. The worst part about it is they do that, and then the showrunners for Doom Patrol tell you that it's not in the same universe as Titans, and it's like, but I just saw.
It makes no sense because I started the first 2 episodes and I was like, oh my god, I really like this, and like I think I got sidetracked with stuff, so I was like, let me come back to it. And it's like one thing if like, after that episode where they introduced them on Titans, that would make sense. Mm. But the fact is that like when you're watching the show, they go back to their origins on how they all came to be. So it's like, where's Beast Boy then?
Right. Well,
where is he?
That's a different universe.
I did want to.
That makes no sense though, because like you can't do that,
You're absolutely right, but they did.
They did. I did want to ask this to loop us back, so we can get out of here. I did want to ask you, Dom, because you and Jamie and Jayla and Sabrina weren't part of it. So I do want to hear you guys' thoughts really quickly. Dom, I'll start with you. What were your thoughts on that Thor trailer?
Oh, it looked beautiful. Like, I don't know. I would love to sit in a room with Taika for like just 30 minutes. This dude's brain just works different. The color palette they use, the way that everything is expressive, and I don't know, dude. Like it looks really good, and at this point, like the story doesn't have to make sense. I want to see the way it visually looks. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It looks really good, and I mean, I had a conversation with Ricky, and he it wasn't on board initially. He was like, it looks alright. I was like, yeah, man, like it's gonna be good.
For sure. I mean, look, to me, I left Ragnarok going, it's visually pleasing, right? I love the arc of it. There's just, again, but this is most superhero movies for me. There are just certain things I would have just did differently. That's it. That's the only thing I felt from Ragnarok. Wasn't that it was bad. Wasn't that I didn't like it. I just would have did certain things differently. And that's why I said I would love for these directors to get more vocal about why they did some of the changes that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it because you felt as though the general audience could care less about authenticity, or was it something like it didn't fit the narrative that you were going for? I just want to know certain decisions. So I look at this and I'm like, again, visually pleasing, as Trevon would say, it looks like it's going to be a shit ton of fun, right? But it's just like, all right, I just want to know some of the decisions that were made, why they were made. That's it. And I believe when you see the movie might explain it. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to the movie explaining to me why Gore, the God Butcher, looks like that, right? I'm very curious. Very curious why he looks like that. So I'm like, if the movie explains it, no problem. It just can't be one of those things like, I just wanted him to look like that. Because then I go, well, you're a fucking idiot, right? Like, no, there has to be like an actual narrative reason behind it, and I'll accept it. I'll back off and I'll accept it. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm waiting to hear. So that's why I said it was a little underwhelming, because I'm like, if I could have at least seen Gore or heard him, like seeing what he's going to actually look like, because maybe the toy art maybe was a little off. You know, maybe they enhanced it, maybe they fixed it. So I'm like, if I could just see him or hear him, something that can
transform during the movie.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, when I see the movie, I'll judge it better. But that's one of those like, what the fuck? Kind of like when you first see it, like,
yeah.
Did no one have a picture of Gore in the room?
So I said something to somebody. I think, you know how, remember like back when they first showed like the first look at Sonic and like everyone bullied them to like redo the look. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but I'm hoping that the whole leak thing made them be like, okay, let's just wait for the final product to show this film, because like they already know, they've definitely seen comments and be like, everyone's like,
I mean, look, I've always been of the mindset Feige cares and then doesn't care, right? So like Feige cares, like when we're like, oh, we want to see these characters, no problem, let me introduce them. But when we go, hey, I don't like the way blah 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 looks, Feige is very much of, well, too fucking bad.
Well, yeah, but it's Christian Bale. Yeah, but it's Christian Bale.
So it's like, you know, so to me, I kind of feel like Feige is of the mindset of, there's no way I'm changing it. Yeah.
Not that it's like, it should be because who he is a big deal, but like, I don't know. I think it's because if the design for Christian Bale playing a villain's like bad, it's like a lot of more people are going to be upset because it's Christian Bale. It's like people are like going to think it's a waste. You know what I mean? Because I saw somebody say, which they were saying, they were like, oh, Christian Bale doesn't want to get like wear prosthetics or anything. It's like, because like, you know how with it was like the argument with like Josh Brolin as Thanos, like with the CGI, it was like, just because Christian Bale doesn't mean he can't have CGI. Like, you're not above a certain thing for a movie just because of who you are. Like, it's just yeah.
But I will say, Christian Bale is a big enough name that if he asked for it, I mean, look, we said this before, me and Joel. When you watch the Iron Man movies, that's 100% a thing Robert Downey Jr. asked for, is that he has a HUD. There's not one comic book of Iron Man you'll read with a fucking HUD. He asked for it, so his face is there. So I'm like, it's not hard to believe that Christian Bale said, I want to make sure that my face is still clear, that it's me and not digital. So that's why I said when that came out, I'm like, I hope.
Yeah, but like, I mean, you could still see Josh Brolin and Thanos. Like, come on.
For sure. But that's what I'm saying.
Nose, right? So,
no, Gore doesn't have a nose. But I'm saying, I think Josh Brolin digs. I think he's one of those actors when it comes to the superhero world that wants to dig into
Jayla.
So I think Josh Brolin probably didn't have a problem with it because he wanted to really become Thanos, right?
Yeah.
There's really no other way to become. There's really no other way to do Thanos, right? Like you couldn't make Thanos look real. You know what I'm saying?
That might be. I don't know. Like
on Apocalypse. Like
I'm not gonna hate on until like we see like his like actual look in the movie, but I don't know.
Sith Morrison said, I have a feeling Gore is going to sound like Christian Bale and nothing more.
Christian Bale's Batman voice. Oh no!
One about Christian Bale. He is someone, at least in the past, has been very dedicated into melting into his roles.
100%.
Before Batman, I think he was actually underweight for before Batman.
Yeah,
he had an insane transformation for Batman. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I can't say what's going on behind the scenes, but
just don't use the Batman voice, and then we'll be good.
Go ahead, Dom.
What if it's because he looks too much like Ebony Maw? We already have a character.
Yeah, he does.
I will continue to say that the only people that would bother is mainstream, and the likelihood of a mainstream fan remembering Ebony Maw is almost slim to freaking none. It is almost slim.
You're not wrong, but it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, I guess.
I remember him because of that. I remember him because he had magic.
No. I get you, but I'm saying visually, if you show somebody, what you call it, Gore the God Butcher, I guarantee you they're not gonna. That's Ebony Maw. I saw him. No,
I'm sorry, we're a bunch of nerds, Juwaan.
No, I'm saying mainstream. I don't think that's an issue for mainstream. And people that know the comics, we understand the difference between the two. I think it came down to, he said, I would like my face to be shown. And they said, cool, this is what you'll look like. And I think he'll deliver an amazing performance that I'll get over. Because here's the thing, Gore the God Butcher isn't like Dr. Doom. I'm not going to see him again. He's going to die in this movie. Spoiler alert. So to me, I don't really care. It's all about how you set it up and how you utilize it in the movie.
Are you like making that theory, or do you actually know if he is?
No, I don't know. I don't actually know. But Feige doesn't keep villains around, so I assume he's gonna go.
I think I'd be shocked if he ended up surviving.
Hold on. What villain survived in Eternals? None. What villain survived in Shang-Chi? None. It depends who you classify. It depends on who you classify.
The Celestials still there.
Yeah. Celestials, Trevon are not villains. Why do you keep saying that?
That was a villain.
They are not villains.
That was a villain.
Not a villain.
What? No, the villain was obviously who Cena killed at the end.
I'm just saying, you don't know if they might change things up. That's all I was saying. I'm not saying you're not wrong to make an accurate guess.
Change things up with what?
With how Thor is going to go.
If Gore stays alive.
That Gore lives?
Yeah.
To me, there's no reason to use Gore past this.
How do you know?
He's a god killer. You're going to establish all your gods here. There's no other gods coming in.
Maybe Thor will bring him to his kumbaya.
Wait, Gore is a god killer?
Yeah, he's a god butcher.
That's his
butcher, to be more specific.
Oh, jeez.
Like, use your weapons for peace.
Little. We don't know.
God butcher.
All I'm saying is,
they lived up to that.
That's lame.
All I'm saying is, I watched a Shang-Chi movie where I thought, like, oh, you could definitely utilize this villain somewhere else, and he 100% died. So I'm like, I have no faith in my villains going forward. In my villains that I don't know have large arcs.
I want to open mind.
To me, because I'm like, think about the villains that have lived. Zemo, but that's because he's a larger arcing villain, right? Loki, he's lived so long, he's a fucking hero. Like think about the villains that are still alive. It's not many. They killed their villains off. It's just the recipe Feige goes for. He doesn't like to recycle. I get it. Not really, but I guess. I don't know.
The freaking Red Skull.
Red Skull, yeah, he does. He kind of
technically died. I was about to say, but he died.
Technically,
that's still lit. That's just his spirit.
Gray area.
I don't know if I was spirit.
Yeah, that's his spirit. He's legit Casper. He's Casper for that planet.
Hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
His soul is alive. He just got,
So is everybody's then, right?
Bad deal.
I mean, you can say that. I guess when we hear Stark and Ironheart, we're like, well, his soul's still alive.
Stop, that's different.
No, so I mean, what you said, Dom, is definitely spot on. That's why I said what he does visually is why I can't wait for him to do his Star Wars movie. Because I'm like, if there's anyone that could bring an interesting palette to Star Wars, it would be someone like Taika, and especially the story he's going for, the creation of the Force. Oh my God, mouth watering! Can't wait to see what Taika does with that. Anyone that doesn't know that story, I'm gonna find the exact name of that comic and post it. It's essentially like a moving planet, right? And the whole point of the moving planet is the Force is supposed to be one entity. And from this comic is how we got Sith. So you had it's supposed to be just one thing for the Force, and then you had people that ventured off and changed it and altered it, and that's where it kind of broke up into the good and the bad. So that's apparently remember when Taika got announced for it, and he just released a photo of like this diamond or this crystal or some shit like that. That's from that storyline. And then we never heard another word about it.
I love Taika, though.
Yeah, and then we never heard another word about it. So I'm like, I'm very curious, is he still doing it or not? So who fucking knows?
Isn't Patty not doing her thing anymore, or is she still doing it?
Yeah, Patty said goodbye to that. she said, deuces, Kathleen Kennedy. I'm not doing this shit. And she said,
I'm done.
She said, cool.
Screw y'all.
Sabers in there anyway. She's like,
she was supposed to do something like the Star Wars Squadrons game, right? Where it's just about
she was supposed to do Rogue 100%. Squadron, right?
Yep. She's essentially doing Star Wars version of stealth. That's what she was about to do. She was about to do that. But Jayla, what were your thoughts on that Thor trailer?
I mean, I touched on a lot of it earlier. It's funny because I have my Thor Ragnarok popcorn bucket on my desk. I love Taika. I do. I trust him so much that I'm down 100%. I have a lot of faith in this. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think that there's a lot they're not showing in the trailer deliberately. A lot of things are pretty big that aren't even things that we're considering like gore, but like even bigger than that. I think this is going to be a lot heavier as far as like content and what we're getting out of it, and maybe even subject matter, because as far as how the Mighty Thor story is, it's a pretty heavy story with what she goes through. I think it's going to be a lot more. I think there's going to be a lot more to chew on than we're going to expect going in. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I know the one thing about Mighty Thor. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jayla.
So I just want to say that one shot that was ripped straight from the comics that was gorgeous too, with him and
with the snow monster. Yeah.
Yes.
I know the one thing I hope they utilize in this movie from Mighty Thor is the Mighty Thor comics essentially start with the fact that there are beings out there that are praying, but they have no gods. And Thor was going around the different, like, it literally starts with these race of aliens praying for rain, but they don't have a god. So like Thor comes in, makes it rain for them so that they could have, some rain. And he goes, "You were praying to a god. What god were you praying to? Like, why didn't they answer you?" And they're like, "We don't have a god." And he's like, "Oh shit, there's people that don't have gods." So like he kind of takes it up, like that's his purpose in that comic, is trying to reestablish that the gods are out there and they do hear. So I appreciated that storyline. So I hope we see some of that, like that shot where Stormbreaker is like radiating some kind of energy or some shit. I'm like, that'd be really dope if he's like restoring a planet or something like that.
I think the emotion will be really heavy too. Great. I really do. I think there's gonna be a lot of heavy things that Thor has to deal with that he's gonna go through in this story. Taika is really good with stuff like that. He's really good at balancing comedy, from What We Do in the Shadows to Jojo Rabbit to our Flag Means Death.
Even Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah.
One of my favorite moments in MCU history is where Odin goes, "You're not the god of hammers." And it's that's
an iconic line. That line.
I love that scene. Yeah. And then the music that they played when Thor just went OP as shit. Oh, I love that
Ragnarok tonight. Oh my god, that was so
nice. That's such a beautiful last sequence right there. Goodness gracious, Taika. All right, you know what? Fuck it, I'm sold. Gore the God Butcher would be the greatest thing I've ever seen. You sold me, Jayla. You sold me.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
You sold me. I'm guaranteeing you this. I will change my mind by the next trailer, but you sold me for now.
Or the next trailer will sell you more.
Or that could happen.
Be optimistic.
That could
be excited. Live in the excitement.
I am excited. But I want to thank you guys for joining me on this episode of MCR. We had a lot of fun breaking down literally everything. We fucking went everywhere.
Wait, did Jamie talk about the trailer?
Oh no, Jamie, go ahead. I forgot you weren't with us on
Moon
that
Knight either.
You did talk about Moon Knight.
I didn't talk about my thoughts about Moon Knight. I just made comments while other people were commenting.
You were commenting a lot, so I thought you were telling me your thoughts on it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead.
Wow, try to be vocal.
You were talking X-Men. You were talking X-Men. That's where it's funnest. But go ahead, Jamie.
Okay. So what I thought about the Thor trailer, I thought it was good. Thor is not my favorite Avenger, so it's hard for me to really get like super hyped.
Who is your favorite Avenger?
Who is my favorite Avenger? Excellent question. I really enjoy Captain America. Cap's up there. Yeah, honestly, it's a pretty basic answer. I think Captain America is probably my favorite Avenger. So I'm trying to think. Like, I do like the other Avengers, but I don't think like I watched the first Avenger multiple times. I had a lot of fun with it. So
interesting. Very interesting. But okay, Captain America.
Take me as I am. You gotta take me as I am.
So does that stick with Sam, or you just meant
No.
So it doesn't go with Sam. So it's just Steve.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be some transfer of the guard here with the next few Marvel movies. I really like Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is lining up to be my fave, but I don't know. I have to know more. Sam as Captain America though. There's still some proofs that need to be done. I don't like his Party City outfit. That needs to be fixed.
What?
I thought that was the only good thing about the entire series.
The suit was cool, but it looked really like it didn't fit around his head. Like it just looked really bulky. Like it looked like
had a problem. That part.
Yeah.
But I always say this, Jamie. I always say this when they do the first suits. When they do the first suits, they usually look bulky, and then by the next time we see him as Captain America, that suit will be skin tight. That headpiece will be skin tight. It'll look a lot better for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
But I will say that suit is what saved that entire series for me. When I saw that suit in action, I said, "Oh fuck, yeah, okay, that's beautiful." Like that's beautiful. Don't know. Outside of that, did not like that shit.
I liked getting to know Sam when they weren't trying to make him seem like a goofball and just like say jokes at random times. Like they literally had just lost. Like I think, what's it? What is his name? U.S. Agent? Well, that was he was the other Captain America at the time. They lost him. They were rolling around the field because they like fell off the truck, and then he turns and looks at Bucky. He's like, well, get him next time, man. You know why you laid on top of me? It was just like this is not the time. Like you should be upset. That
I love those movies.
I listen. I feel like there's a time and a place, and that just was not the place for me. I do like their relationship, but they were just some like it felt like really forced jokes that I was just like I wasn't a fan of. So yeah, I don't know who my current favorite Avenger is out of the lineup, but
well, to be fair,
I do like Thor.
To be fair, it could still be Steve. We have no idea if he's dead, retired. We have no idea.
He's gone.
I didn't see a body. I saw Stark's body.
I don't think we're gonna ever see anything from him.
No. I'm saying I didn't see his dead body.
We might see him in Moon Knight up in the crypt like this, but other than that, I think he's gone.
That would be dope as hell if Steve comes across Steve. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh my god.
No, but what are your thoughts on Moon Knight?
I loved it.
So yeah, Thor trailer, I thought it was cool. I like seeing Jane as Thor. That was dope. What else? I thought the jokes in the trailer were actually pretty good. I have like a weird sense of comedy, I guess, where like things are like funny to me, but they're not like, oh my god, I'm laughing. It's just like, oh no, it's funny. So I actually did giggle at some of these things. As far as Moon Knight, I told y'all Layla was getting sweet on Steve, and I told you. But then that kiss would have messed it up for me. His approach is like, like what the hell was that? I felt uncomfortable watching it. I'm like, please stop. Oh God.
He's doing his best.
He is. Layla will have to work with him on that.
Yeah.
We'll have to work with him on that. What the hell? Ew. What? Hello, 35-year-old. This is how you kiss. What? Come on.
That's not his fault. That's his life, you know.
Oh man. Hell no. Layla about to move on. She about to go, where Mark at?
She's like, no, my husband back.
She's like,
she did low key look like that, like damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like leaned in and she was like, ooh, you know what? Like, yeah. Like drawn to him because like, you know, she's like said like you smell like my husband, and she was like, you know what? Never mind, I want Mark.
Layla was kind of giving me a little weird vibe too, like, you smell like him. I'm like, yeah, that's his body. And then she like low key was like, and I'm like, what is going on right now? But that, and then like the ending nearly gave me whiplash. I'm like, what is going on right now? I agree with Didge. Like I don't know if that was the right way to end the episode, because it just like it felt like, all right, we're getting to a part where the episode's gonna end, credits are gonna roll, and then all of a sudden we're in a mental hospital. I'm like, what? Like how much time do we have left? Like, oh my god.
I thought it was gonna end at like when he was just like sitting in like the wheelchair, and I was like, and then like it kept going, so I was like, okay, because I thought they were just gonna do that, and then like fuck you like up even more, because I think that would fuck people up even more if they just left it at that instead of like, you know, that whole end scene.
I feel like they tried to tease this a little bit too much, and it just had me confused. But other than that, Layla definitely stole the show for me. She is a freaking badass, and if she's not in more Marvel stuff, then like that's a crime. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
No, that's for damn sure. But they are dying laughing in the comments to you trying to get Layla to teach Steven how to kiss Jamie.
Bro. I was dying on the inside for different reasons.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And by the way, can I say your mummy kiss that you imitated there was definitely strange. The arms out and then the leaning
That's literally
forward.
what he did.
His
arms.
He did. He did. I love him, but he did.
He tried to hit her with the Spider-Man hey, but he two-handed it.
Two-handed
it.
No, leave Steven alone.
He lost in translation somewhere.
No, leave him alone. But it's okay because the way he was looking at her made up for it. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's
I don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
The way she was looking at him did not make up for anything. She was looking at him like,
yeah, yeah, she did kind of give him that. Don't do that to me again, Steven.
100%, guys.
That's why I didn't understand why Mark punched him, because I'm like, her reaction wasn't like, oh yes, it was more like, oh
yeah, but he still kissed his wife, so you know.
So wait, so that's another thing. Quick thing. Was that Mark that punched it? I have figured it was, but then I was like, but he doesn't really like. Don't they have to actually switch for him to control something? Or
no,
did
but if you listen closely, you hear the like, you know, when they kind of switch personalities and it makes that sound. You heard it right when he went to punch him.
So he just switched to punch him and then switched back.
He switched to punch him and then
enough willpower to do it.
In the first episode, remember, he wouldn't let go of the scarab.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true.
He's fighting with his own
body. So it's like they can kind of control each other
in
that sense. I think. Yeah.
But no.
Great body acting from him again.
100%. That was hilarious. The arm just sticking out and then walking in like a circle.
That was so funny. Oh my god. He was like, and he literally like had to go like that way, and it's still like.
He's like, hold on.
Sell that kind of thing. And
yeah, it was good.
And him, like, talking
he's
to
got really good.
Shifting. Amazing.
That was so good.
He's got good body control.
I'll say this much: Moon Knight is the only MCU show I've enjoyed so far from Sith Morrison.
Oh, wow. I respect it.
I don't think I've enjoyed an MCU Disney Plus show since Loki.
I've enjoyed them all.
I feel like I haven't dug in as much as I have with other shows with this one.
Okay,
but
I will say this.
Moon Knight's a new character, though.
I will say this: I have not been as invested in a Disney Plus show since WandaVision. I was invested in that fucking shit episode, word for word.
I was like pausing
visual,
things, like looking
every
around.
goddamn.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Dom became the dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the cigarette and the board in the back, and he's like, Dom was like, yo, did you see the cup in the back? And it's like, Dom, who saw that?
What does it
cup?
all mean?
I saw that cup. So yeah, Dom went full tinfoil. But yeah, I'd say the most I was invested in a show, like literally looking forward to each and every week, was WandaVision. And now
I haven't been a 3 a.m. watcher since WandaVision, and here I am again for Moon Knight.
To be fair, I only do because I don't sleep well. I don't sleep. So I'm up. Yeah, I'm up. It's not like
I'm glad I didn't watch at 3 a.m. because that's the other thing I forgot to say is this episode, the horror elements, like they were just enough where I was like, I can watch this by myself and be okay, but at the same time, I'm like,
You know what? I'm glad you said that, Jamie, because I will still say this: I've never been more scared in the MCU than when that fucking clock popped up in Loki. Nothing's ever scared me more than that.
That actually didn't get me.
I was just like, yo, I almost started throwing fists at my screen. Like, yo, don't do that shit. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. What you doing? The hell? That clock.
That was good. That was hilarious.
That was a great moment.
Oof. See, like, I don't think any like show was bad, but like I was fully invested in was Loki because I love Loki. So I was like,
Sorry.
So all of the games that... Oh, no. Go ahead, Trevon. My bad. I was looking at the comments. Go ahead.
No, for me, I mean, I had the most fun with Falcon and Winter Soldier after episode 1.
No, that's valid.
After episode 1, I loved it.
No, it was really good. I loved seeing Bucky again.
I 100% see it.
WandaVision after episode 3.
I loved the first episode.
I didn't follow it at first. I skipped the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then I caught up.
To be fair,
Didge,
the reason why I stuck to every episode and enjoyed episode 1 so much was I legit, for every episode, was just like Mephisto. Okay.
Man, don't remind me.
Okay, next episode, Mephisto. Bruh, Dom, you were there.
So
you my
ignorance is bliss. I had no idea about any Mephisto stuff till like literally I think I was reviewing the first season of WandaVision, or I guess WandaVision, and I saw that there were theories, and I'm like, there's this Mephisto guy that people are talking about, but I don't know what they're talking about. Like,
yeah,
I didn't see anything
really
like that.
I haven't watched any like Easter egg
and
videos
Evan
for
Peters
this.
showing up. It's a shame.
That shit had my whole life in a fucking spiral.
This does make me curious to see him now, though.
It's Mephisto.
I just wanted.
Oh, you know what? Like the day we see them, it's gonna be like hell because like of everything with WandaVision.
Right now, I will feel the most supreme level of vindication because as of now, Ghost Rider is the only Mephisto I've ever gotten in live action, and that shit can't stand. It can't stand. I won't allow.
You don't like Nick Cage?
No, I don't like the way they used Mephisto in that movie.
That's fair.
Sith Morrison says I was only invested in WandaVision because I was waiting for the multiverse stuff to happen, and it didn't. It did. The multiverse stuff did happen. It just wasn't as prominent as Loki was. All in the Game says Benson and Moorhead are going to have a blast directing Loki season 2, and apparently All in the Game wants to have Layla's baby.
Like it.
It do be like that.
Wait.
I mean, I do believe there has to be a fictional line. Like there has to be so many people that no, I love it.
Write that fanfic. We'll read it here.
There is a show on Netflix called He's Expecting.
We will not read that shit here. That will not be happening.
I'll read it. I'll read it on my channel.
Yes, on your channel, not on here. But no, I mean, you will not. I believe all these Marvel shows are great in their own way. I believe we don't get to where we are now without each and every one of these Marvel Disney Plus shows. So I appreciate them in that essence, but I do not love all these shows the same. I will not lie. I will not lie. Yes, 100%. Exactly. You appreciate everyone's importance in the history of it, but you do not view all those movies the same. No, like you just can't. You can't. 100%.
They each have their own taste and aesthetic and reasons that people be drawn to it. So the people that like different things will have different favorites.
Absolutely right. 100%. And look, I am a firm believer of you got to do the bad to get to the good, right? So what I mean by that is with everything being so different, right? Like even we were talking about the X-Men films. I believe if we don't get there, we don't appreciate the moment we're in now. Where Feige has his hands on it and is about to give us the best thing we've ever seen, right? We needed the 20 years we got to properly appreciate what we're about to get. Right. So to me, everything has its place in history. Yes. If you think for a hot second, I don't appreciate Batman from the 60s all the way to 2012, so that we could get the one we just got this year, you out your damn mind, Didge.
So you appreciate Batman and Robin, correct?
I do.
Yes, that everyone learned what not to do. Yes, exactly. Yes.
I appreciate every Batman movie except for Dark Rises.
Yes, I appreciate that a director out there said, "Oh fuck no, I will not do that." Like, no way in hell I'll do that. Dude,
There's a special place for Batman and Robin, but that's a different talk for a different day.
Yes, there's a special place
in my collection and in my heart.
Right, I want to thank. There's a special place right next to Mephisto. All right, I want to thank everybody for. Y'all forgot Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman.
That's right.
Play either Mephisto or Dracula. Sure. I mean, I'm never against seeing Gary Oldman in anything. Lil Wolfie says y'all forgot about Hawkeye. No, I fucking loved Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. Yeah. Everything about Hawkeye.
I
didn't forget about it.
It was alright. It was okay.
Yeah, it was the best overall.
I would say the only thing Hawkeye did wrong was you made that watch up to mean something way more, and then it's just like, here, honey, and it's like,
okay. So my only problem with Hawkeye, I enjoyed it, but the finale so rushed. It was so rushed.
I didn't feel that at all. I felt like
so they introduced like 3 storylines at once. They had like 3 different storylines going on, and I remember telling Blake, I was like, this is going to be a problem by the finale, especially with 6 episodes that they've been doing. And it was. It literally, like, they rushed everything.
I think certain things that shouldn't have been important were important.
Well, like, it was them introducing swordsmen. Like, they had that going on, and then they had
Oh yeah,
Kingpin, and like I love seeing Kingpin. That was cool, but like I want more.
Oh, we're gonna get more an Echo show.
No, I know, but then them also doing Echo's like story, like her kind of like that's her story in Hawkeye. It's like, all right, what are you gonna do for a show then?
That was introducing. Oh no, introducing her. Yeah,
her show is perfectly set up because you can introduce Daredevil, you can introduce the reemergence of Kingpin. There's so many things you could do, but it was better to do it.
Give her her actual costume.
Right, it was because to me it's better to do, and this is why Kevin Feige's a genius. Because you take a character that
I miss you so much.
That the mainstream doesn't know about in Echo, and you introduce it in a show with a character the mainstream does know about. So it gives a larger eyes to that, right? Because you have to sell people on the Echo series. You don't have to sell them on Hawkeye, right? So it's easier to kind of just weave that in. So I appreciate that. But look, like I said, I love Hawkeye. I loved all these shows for different reasons. And I just can't wait to see what Miss Marvel gives us.
Absolutely.
Hell, I'm not even
surprised throw Wolverine in there. That's what I want now, because I was set up to believe.
I don't know why you
I was set up. Listen, I gullible. I
mean, that's how I felt about
my forehead.
I understand. I get it.
No. Time out. That's different. Because they literally here's why it's different. When they set up the possibility that could be one of the Fantastic Four, you literally were describing what their job was, right? So I'm like, okay, that makes somewhat sense. But Wolverine being in Miss Marvel, what would he even be doing in Miss Marvel?
What was he doing in the comics? I don't know.
I would expect to see him in Doctor Strange more than Miss Marvel. Like a random shot of him in Doctor Strange.
Well, technically, they'll still be together then, because she's in that. I'm kind of right.
What?
Wolverine's down.
She's in Doctor Strange.
No, she's not. That's America Chavez.
Oh, damn, you're right.
All right, let's get out of here. Jamie's tired. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I want to thank Blake, Joel, Jamie, Jayla, Dom, Sabrina, and Trevon. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned for Friday's episode of GVN Talk. We could have a very special guest, not only this Friday, but also this Sunday, with two special guests popping into our shows this weekend. So make sure you guys stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. And also stay tuned. Jayla has a big interview coming up. We won't say who it is just yet. We want to iron out the details. But Jayla does have her first big interview coming up soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And Jamie, do you want to let the people know who we have coming on to GVN Talk soon? This was your creation. Yeah, this was your creation.
Interesting. Well, actually, you know what? I feel, shout out to Trevon. Shout out to Trevon for Trevon highlighted that a filmmaker out there. I won't say just y'all have to do some research. Go to Trevon's Twitter. But he highlighted that somebody made a Ghost of Tsushima fan film, and it was quite good in my opinion. So I said, you know what, we should talk to this person, get some young filmmakers on here.
Him? Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
And I feel like it's gonna be a good time.
Yep, Mr. Stephen Ford himself.
I wasn't gonna say the name, but then he said
That's cool.
Hey, I'll say the name. Because you want to say the name now, so people can look them up. Now that we said the project, look them up, kind of get the hype going. Stephen Ford, we're working on that. I will not tell you who's Friday.
The YouTube Ascender. That's pretty cool. Got good stuff on there.
Make sure you guys check that out. So shout out to Trevon and Jamie, because without them, I would have no idea about any of this.
It's great. Yeah.
So shout out. And so shout out to Jamie, Trevon, and Jayla. And Dom, I don't even know where to begin with you, man. You've interviewed the world. Literally, you've sat next to Earth and interviewed it. So like, what do you got? You just saw that not Viking movie, but
The Northman.
Yes. How was it?
My review will come out for that tomorrow. If you're a fan of Norse mythology and Viking revenge stories, you'll really enjoy it.
Or if you're just a fan of men that don't have shirts to wear and are ripped, go check it out.
I think I have a review.
I've been a fan of him since True Blood. So.
I have a review coming out for Disney Plus's Polar Bear soon as well.
Polar Bear.
Oh,
yeah, it's a little documentary following the life of this polar bear from a cub to an adult and how climate change is affecting them. It's really good.
Oh yeah, that's important. That's very important. Because look, Coca-Cola stopped doing those commercials with the polar bears, and I kind of feel like that has something to do with it, man.
I told my brother, I said, "Listen, man, you turn them lights off, say them polar bears."
Right.
That's what I told him.
But look, I tell you what, nothing made a Coca-Cola more delicious than seeing polar bears drink it. So Coca-Cola, get on your shit, man. Get on your shit. But yeah, you got anything else coming up, Dom?
I'm going to see a screening of Doctor Strange on the 2nd. So
enjoy.
So that's going up soon too.
Hey, awesome, man. Awesome.
Oh my
All right,
God.
yeah, get your emojis ready, Dom. So when I ask you what happened, just send me emojis. Don't tell me anything. Just send emojis.
Do the pictures with the spoilers for people that know.
Yeah. They don't know. Big movie spoil it for me. I'm like, nah, man. He's like, nah, just tell me. I'm like, all right, man.
That one I want to DM you about. Yeah.
Don't do it.
I'm like, hey.
I'm telling you right now. But I will say this before I go to you, Didge. Before we get out of here, I did see Sonic 2, Trevon and Joel, and when I say you guys undersold it, that movie is the motherfucking shit, man.
Yeah, it's so good, so good.
Good. Man. I told you, I cried in the final act. I was crying.
Man.
Yeah.
When I told you, I was the only one clapping when that shit ended. I was looking around like,
yeah, I was in the theater with kids, and I was like, I don't care.
I had so many
kids say
something. Look, this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Did anyone here not see it that doesn't want to be spoiled? Anyone here? No?
I've seen it.
Okay. Spoiler alert. When I saw Sonic transform.
Super
man, I'm sick.
I was like this, floating in air. I was just like, Usher came in and was like, is this devil work? And I was just like, it might be. But Sonic has turned into Supersonic. And then I said, okay, you can't get any better. You gave me Supersonic. You put some of the theme songs from the games in the movie. And then the end credit scene popped up.
I didn't expect them to actually do it. I thought they were going to hint at it, but they just had them. They just straight up gave them to us.
Take my soul.
Oh my God.
And I will tell you this. If in that next Sonic movie, anyone that knows the character knows this. If Shadow is holding an AR-15, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I'm gonna lose.
Pretty sure that will probably be omitted.
It'd probably be a Nerf gun or something.
Nah, I need an AR-15.
You might get a Nerf gun. You're absolutely right, Jamie.
I need that AR-15. I need that shit, man. Bro, when I saw him, I was just like,
you got away with that now.
No, when that foot came down, and I knew them Jim right there said.
Yep. Hey, time out. Hold on. And then can we talk about where I cried? Where you saw Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic make the pact?
Oh man, I cried. I cried. That was so good. Oh my God.
Emotional. It was. I didn't. Never in a million years would I be able to say, "Oh yeah."
Honestly, the whole now that they're like a family thing made me cry.
I'm telling you right now, man. I ain't cried that hard since.
Knuckles
face of ball. I love him.
I did not cry that hard since
the base of ball. I can't.
Love him.
But all right, Didge, I want to go to you, man. You now have a trailer out for your documentary.
So it's the GoFundMe trailer. It sort of just gives a gist of what we're looking to do with the documentary. Again, it's the Black Geek documentary. If you haven't heard, I feel like I talk about it every day.
Keep talking about it.
Of course. Yeah. It is our love letter to blurred culture, for blurred, from blurred. And yeah, like I said, our GoFundMe trailer is up. It's on our YouTube. It gives you just a real good idea of what's going on with the documentary. You see some familiar faces in there. I cannot confirm or deny whether or not they're going to be in the documentary. Wink, wink. But, please take a look at it and, share. We really want to get the awareness out.
Absolutely. We'll do our part, Didge. You know that. We got you. So again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you guys in the comment sections that were thanking us for the laughs, saying how you needed it. You appreciated the laughs. This was a fun episode. That's what GVN is about, man. We're not here to put down anyone. We're not here to seem superior. We're here to have fun. We're just really passionate about certain shit. Like Jamie's gonna have to do an X-Men rewatch to get that shit sorted out.
But listen, it might not turn out the way you want. I'm gonna just say that.
I will.
He comes back even more of a fan of
it. I like now. I can confirm. I love this one.
Our friendship is hanging in the balance. Your strike one is not watching Clone Wars, so our friendship is literally dangling.
Can I get it removed?
I feel like okay, not to like put you in a bad position, Jamie, but I feel like the strike one was like when you said George Clooney's suit. When we were doing the suits.
Yes, I forgot about that. You're on your second strike.
Well, what's strike about?
Because I remember how bad you freaked out. You're like, what?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Trevon. You aren't on a strike. I just have a therapist for you.
No, leave Jamie alone. She has specific taste. Leave her be. Leave her be.
I go look for Trevon. No. Jamie was just saying when we were doing best suits, best like comic book suits. Jamie brought out the Clooney Funko Pop and was like, "I love."
She has it right here. Yes, there it is.
This guy.
That happened.
It's happening. It's happening.
I have no comment on that.
There's no way.
It happened, Joel. That, like I said,
sometimes you don't need to talk about awesomeness. It just
Jamie's just right there.
That's a wild statement.
That's a super wild statement. But anyway, we love you guys in the comment section. You guys are rock stars. Please stay
a specific.
Sith Morrison said she needs to watch the Clone Wars first.
I'm doing it, Sith. I'll do it. You know what? I might even talk about it on my channel at some point because I'm just like, I didn't know people were that intrigued in me watching the Clone Wars.
Yes.
You should watch it.
Yes. It is.
At least before Obi-Wan, you know.
I'm almost.
You're about to get Obi-Wan series and Ahsoka series and have no idea who Ahsoka is.
Now you can't expect her to finish all of it before.
No, that's not happening. Absolutely.
Time out. Hold on. Time out. Don't limit my expectations. You goddamn right. I expect Jamie to be.
I mean, let's be honest. Look.
We're just gonna make them realistic.
We got a little bit over a month.
I'll be honest with you. I've taken a break for a second, and I'm watching other stuff.
Look, here's why. Time out.
My semester literally ends next week. Finals are 2 days after that. There is absolutely no way.
Find time.
I am finishing Clone Wars.
Find it.
If you wanted to, you would.
Find it. Find it.
It's okay, Jamie. I support
but Trevon, the only reason I support you not being fully done with Clone Wars is for reasons I still don't understand. You watch all of Rebels first, so there's very few things you don't understand because you watch Rebels.
Interesting idea.
No, he didn't do it on purpose.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't even know there was a Clone Wars thing.
Okay.
Like, at the time. It was on Disney XD, man.
Look, Jamie, if you look in the comment section, everybody's screaming for you to watch Clone Wars. So get on it.
Yeah, Jamie, watch Clone Wars.
Yeah, Jayla, watch Clone Wars.
Jayla.
You're not slick, Jayla.
You just gonna let me get
I've seen Clone Wars a bunch of times. I'm still gonna rewatch it because of Kenobi.
Yes, come on, Jayla. You're not slick. Watch it. All right, thank you guys. You guys in the comment section, please, everybody that was here tonight, show up Friday, show up Sunday. We're going to have some great guests. It's going to be a lot of fun. And stay tuned. We will be working on that interview with Sabrina and Ernie Altbacker for the new Constantine animated film.
I'm so excited for that. Very excited for that.
Stay tuned for that. I always love talking to Ernie, man. His just insight on DC animation and comics and everything is just... It's so unique. So unique.
Years,
for forever. Since the New 52 started, he's been writing these DC animated movies.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, guys. We got a whole bunch of really cool stuff coming your way. And like I said, the biggest thing I'm working on that I want you guys to look forward to, trying to get the voice actor of Kenobi to possibly join us for one episode of the Kenobi series. I'm working on getting James. I want to get James. I need to get
That'll be crazy.
That'd be really good.
I will say I reached out to him, and I will also say I did make it known that the one condition was if he does it, he has to do it strictly in the Obi-Wan Kenobi voice.
Oh my god.
And not talking shit.
Like, are you paying him?
Yeah.
Hey, can you bring Matt? Can you bring your friend Matt Lancer? Thanks.
Matt, you know what's funny? Matt and Ashley actually do not do interviews. They don't do it. It's very rare to see those two do interviews. James?
That's true. That is very true.
But all right, guys. So please make sure you show up this Friday and this Sunday. Shout out to Lil Wolfie who said we didn't forget you, Jayla. Sith Morrison also. Yeah, Jayla, you think you slick. You're not slick.
Oh, no. I've been
caught. We'll see you guys this Friday night. You did. You tried to throw Jamie under the bus. We'll see you this Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, for a new episode of GVN Talk. Stay tuned. And until next time, guys,